We in the rum shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
We in the rum shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
We in the rum shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
We in the rum shop.
Yeah. I go drink today.
We in the rum shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
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 So bring a rum, bring it come in the rum shop talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So bring a rum, bring it come in the rum shop talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good evening. So we are today at the rum shop. Once again, we're drinking some serious liquor. And today we have with us the normal crew, Errol Fabien.
Just right.
To my left, Stephan Reis.
Yeah, man.
And Phillip Alexander.
Good day, sir. Thank you for having
That's
me on
right.
your crew.
It's great to be here.
It's great to be here.
Yeah,
Today
man.
we just talking
Rum.
Just talking rum.
I want to say something, if you would allow me. One thing does get me more angry or more pissed off than when I hear Phillip Edward Alexander say this is a backward country. That's tripped me off. But one thing that's tripped me off more than that, when I get examples,
When you get examples.
How
many examples you had?
Most recently, when they announced they stopping the TT Pass, right? It was a Wednesday that it was supposed to stop, right? I in St. Lucia looking to come home this Sunday, right? They say TT Pass. So I run online in the airport, do all the things I had to do, fill in all the information, but I had to have a confirmed booking in a hotel for, I think it was a 14-day quarantine because I'm not vaccinated.
Okay.
So
Use two of the words that we rather not use.
Yes.
So-
man, that's safe. That's
so
safe.
you know what? I know Wednesday TT Pass stopping, so I'm looking for a hotel, one of the approved hotels to book for 3 days. Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, because Wednesday. The thing done. Hello? None, You have to book and pay for 14 days.
Yeah.
But the thing stopping Wednesday.
Yeah, midnight.
It is announced. It is
stopping
public
mid-
knowledge.
stopping midnight.
It done midnight Wednesday. That give me 3 days.
midnight-
Let's say
it's like
4
midnight
days.
and-
Have
Let's
no
say 4
way
days.
You could open a show that's supposed to have kicks that serious, and I laugh because he right.
Yeah,
like-
it was
it's
cheaper
like-
for me to
it's-
stay the 4 days
it's
in
like
St.
something-
Lucia.
No,
no, no,
But that's what I
but it'll be
did. I had to
cheaper for you to
came on
stay.
Thursday.
Yeah.
It's like stopping everything on the 17th. And then
saying, well,
11
businesses could still say.
No.
They could
11:59, a businessman still tell you, hey, you had a
Yeah,
yeah,
so that's
yeah,
why that thing
yeah,
will
yeah,
go for you,
Next
so.
half an hour, you had a copy, but you had a wait, but
But
now you
yeah,
had a wait.
I immediately put out that video because people was messaging me. Stephan, you see this? Stephan, what madness is this?
You up for this?
What madness is this? What?
That's your thing.
I say, well, it's simple, I don't know why we just let people. I don't know why we just let these people give us a headache. I say it's a simple thing. You have the purchasing power.
Exactly.
You've been saying that from the start.
If they want to pay, if they could go by Tea and Tech, Wassa, pay for goods and services, and pay their own personal bills and every other bill that they have with a mask, then fine, let them go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll keep my money in my pocket.
Exactly.
It's simple.
The woman who wrote, because I said, when he announced it, I said, this announcement is playing with the people and abuse of office. Because if you know it could stop in 2 weeks, it could stop today.
What is going to change?
What is
Unless
the
there's a
difference?
vacuum cleaner, and them robot thing moving around, sucking it out the air, and it will finish in 2 weeks. And then
You had
Just-
20.
yeah,
ground.
You had about 20,000 people in one FEDSO.
Yeah.
You had about 10 or 15,000 at next
So
FEDSO.
clearly-
Somebody write on the
clearly-
chat. Somebody write
Clearly,
on the
they're
chat.
just mind brushing me. That's all what it is. We getting mind brush.
Somebody write on the trend, on the express trend, only if you're jamming naked, I say, if you stink or dirty. Because all them feds, and blessings to the promoters who make all their millions, and happy for them. And the people who wanted the release, and you can't even knock the people.
waiting to exhale.
Oh God,
You know
2
what's the funny
years.
thing? Let me give a perfect example at Trinidad, right? During the lockdowns, right? You know, remember we had now come out of Carnival, and people started to get under pressure. People started to apply for all kind of grant, right? All over social media I seeing, but we all the promoters that make all this money for Carnival, they ain't giving anything.
They knock them for a week.
They knock them for a week, and as the thing ease up and they start back to promote, the same people who say, "But I ain't supporting them again." This, that, and the other.
Yeah.
They defect, you know.
There's another conversation. Chinese licorice should be stupidness, but I want to say
The liquor should just really stupidness.
you can't get enough. But I want to say, I really want to say though, you can if when they open the country, people was running down the road naked, I would not knock them. I would not say a word because oh God, boy, some of them weekends, some of them long weekends when they hit you from Friday
Inside for
till
24. Oh God, that was
Monday,
that.
I felt sick.
That is a criminal act.
No, I felt sick. I felt like our freedom wasn't our freedom anymore.
No,
Yeah,
that's what
if
it wasn't.
square
It
every
wasn't.
day,
Somebody had to
every
give
day
you-
COVID.
Somebody
Yeah.
had to give you permission to be alive. And
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and you could go to the grocery on Monday and Wednesday and the hardware on Tuesday and Thursday, but between 2 and 4 because
Yeah, for some
The
reason
one
or
by
the other,
the one by the beach was
it's on recess during that
Yeah,
hour.
boy.
one by the
When they
beach was
open
the
everything
greatest.
except the beach.
But I
When they
think
open
this
Well, I
business
think,
They
I
say-
think the rally was trying to maintain or contain the crowd of people that would go by the beach, which
Yeah, but-
if it is spread,
Who afraid the thing wouldn't go?
That's all.
Who afraid the thing wouldn't go?
Exactly.
Up to
It's
now,
like-
who
we
afraid
said
the thing
today.
ain't going nowhere?
We
And
said
they did
today.
a good job putting out the fear.
November, the world reaches 8 billion people. When
Right.
I was a little boy, it was 4 billion. So we racing, right? It kind of overcrowded. They say in a little while there's only 150 million square miles of earth we could use, and I didn't dig deeper to find out why. But all I'm saying is, now I might be sounding like Thanos here, but if you're worried about the food supply and the water and all of that, the people who want to take chances and do drugs and
Let
drive
them.
without seatbelt and thing, why you fighting
What is the
them?
Should be
problem?
encouraging them.
Why you fighting them?
Seatbelts
What's the
are no
problem?
longer
Cut out your
requirements.
seatbelt.
Yeah.
And that is not
Motorcyclists, why
What
you
is the
using
problem?
helmet? Why you using
it's
helmet?
not meant to sound irresponsible.
problem?
it is
must
actually
stand up for
irresponsible
it.
because I mean they will hurt other people who doing the right thing.
Not if you ride a motorbike without your helmet. What you going to do? Butt a hole in the next man's car?
No, but listen, it's like you say, right? It's like,
It's Rob
I
Shop
think I will
talking.
say that so.
We have our audience. She laughing at what I say. Laugh loud, yeah, laugh loud.
The people who didn't want to go, in the whole thing where I said we was trying to control the
Yeah.
crowd, right? The people who didn't want to go to the beach, they wouldn't go.
They wouldn't
because they're afraid of the
go.
crowd, right? They're afraid of the thing. So it's the same thing. Look at now. It have people who they don't have anything over their face, but have some people wearing it like they read it in the Bible, and the Bible says how to do it like
Alone
go by the book.
Alone in the car,
Yes.
air conditioner.
I wonder if after Tuesday or whenever this thing, if they will be still wearing it like that.
Well, I see.
And then what will they be saying to themselves as to why they're not wearing it?
The
No,
funniest,
what would they be saying to themselves about you?
The
who
dumbest
not
thing I
wearing
You
saw-
it?
know what was the most... You finish.
The dumbest thing I saw this week was a video with a media personality who's in Miami. And he put up a post and he driving a GT car now. And he driving a GT car and he had alone
Bicep with
in
the
the
mask on. I
car.
couldn't
But he have a
recognize
mask
him.
on his face and he in Miami. I said, look at this idiot.
You know what was the most cruel misuse of their stupidity? When a police stopped me on Arapita Avenue with my family in the car and give me 2 tickets, one for me, one for my child mother, and we had to go and pay that, and we had to find a place that opened. Because just finding somewhere to pay the ticket was a drama by itself, because some open, some close on different hours, and get the merit points on top of that. Now Gary Griffith, who was the commissioner of police at the time,
That was for what?
without mask. Gary
Merit
Griffith,
points?
you get the merit points for that. Gary Griffith,
What?
yeah, who was commissioner
I
of
can
police,
challenge that, man.
who was
Nobody
commissioner
fought
of
for
police.
this.
I got challenged, but Gary Griffith, who was the commissioner of police at the time, said he and his wife, who he lying down on a bed with, come outside and get in the car without mask, they're in trouble. And that was the most of all the
was
stupid things
bizarre.
they did. That was the
But that
most-
was it. But listen, you know what's it?
Was there anything more stupid than that?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You found something more?
Yeah, I found something more stupid than that. That we actually complied.
Well, when I
Fair
was
enough.
As in, no,
Fair
that,
enough.
no, because Okay, it's
Yeah,
one
He's
thing.
saying that. I want to see you not comply with police.
No, look, my
You
neighbor
will
get a
not
ticket for not wearing a mask.
One
He
person,
never paid.
one person not complying will get in trouble.
You
But
might-
if everybody
Everybody
say,
don't
no,
comply."
No,
really,
Trinidadians will do
no, really.
Trinidadians will gas you up. And Errol say, I ain't complying.
I mean, I look
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah,
Look wrong, yeah.
Trinidad feel good.
Yeah.
You
With the
know,
popcorn. Let me see how Errol getting through with this.
you know what was the greatest about that? You know what was the greatest about that child driving in their car without a mask? The period when they instituted that, you know, there was no mechanism to collect the
To collect the money.
collect it.
I
For
have
about
to-
8 months.
My neighbor get it and never pay it up to
you
today. He
get
never
it,
paid.
and you can't pay. You have no way to pay it.
Let me explain you me. And Errol, you might be able to understand. Even you. I have no choice. They don't give me the ticket. If I go in and fight it in court, I go in and fight it in court. But I can't ignore the law.
Right.
At that time, it had something, a payment. They had the
system.
payment set up. Because remember,
I
the early
went-
they didn't have no payment set up. They didn't have nothing in the magistrate
No,
court for you to
but
come
you
and
had
pay
the
the thing.
responsibility. All of this is insane.
And then
We're talking about
a date by which you have to pay it.
boss man.
And you have to
And
find
by
a
that
way.
date, you have to call them, you know. The responsibility is yours. It is a criminal misuse of public office because we had to keep calling, and every time the cycle of that 8 months run out, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, they tell you call again. And when
It's madness.
Madness.
that was
Where you
the-
say it's a backward country? Who does
Yeah,
say that?
boy.
You or him?
Dama,
You
Dama,
from
but it
him?
just grind me
You
when I
from
hear
him?
him say that, boy.
And you know what's the stupid thing? Let me tell you how
Stand
backward it is. Let me tell you how backward it is. You know what was the stupidity in that? The reason why they said they couldn't do anything is because they couldn't differentiate a pika, a man who pulling bull, from a man who walking taxi. So they don't know.
You know how much money they make? They make $36 million, and I contribute about $4,000 in that. They make 36 million. They make 36. You ain't paying. You ain't
Mass
getting-
ticket.
No me on ticket for that. I done rip that up. I didn't rip up ticket, you know.
I ain't getting no ticket. for that.
Gangster.
No, I didn't rip up your ticket.
Gangster.
I ain't get no
They
ticket for
make
that.
$36 million on that. And that road in front of the Express newspaper, they didn't fix it that.
I didn't get no ticket in that, but I just avoided going anywhere because I was not jumping in the car with my wife and putting on a mask. I wasn't
It's
doing
ridiculous.
it. The couple of times we did, it was difficult. I'm telling you straight, I was monitoring. If I see police, I have it in my hand to put it on. Or I have a bottle of water, I was drinking water. I
But
can't
the
drink
police
water.
who
You know.
gave me the
But the
ticket
police,
wasn't wearing no mask.
but the police wasn't serious
The
about that
hypocrisy.
neither.
The hypocrisy.
No, but the police are human beings
Yeah,
and citizens
I can't
too.
knock them.
No,
Them do that
they
work.
are human beings
Them
and
do that work
citizens
because
too.
your supervisor pull you up and say, "Oh, so you ain't get Phillip Alexander," and I know that. I know that.
So
I see when the officer dealing with me. I know you could tell when somebody malicious, and you know when a man just doing it.
Say,
Well.
say,
A police, a security guard stopped me from going into that building and telling me pull up your mask. But he mask down my nose, under your nose.
You understand?
Yeah.
But I like to be ticket in court.
And I
About
asked
what
him,
in court.
why am I pulling up to protect who? You have on your mask, right?
Well, you see, I tell you gas me up with that because and I'm going to segue to another big story. I in Massey yesterday.
Oh gosh.
Hold on, pump your brakes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I in Massey and the security guard. I walk in Massey. Sunday we had a mass, so Sunday's a couple days away, and actually that if Thursdays are long is a holiday.
Be home
and
from Tuesday.
be home. So my mask done.
Makes sense.
The man say, "Oh, put on your mask." I say, "Everybody else have on a mask. I can't do them nothing."
Exactly.
If mask work,
If mask and vaccine work, and all of them have on the vaccine.
they say-
everybody, I can't do all
And
them.
I have on no mask, I can't do all of that. It's only
If
me.
the, ma-
It's only me.
if the mask work, why we socially distancing?
Yeah, I know that. Somebody say, "Why
If
the
we
mask?"
socially
Somebody
distancing,
say,
I'll be back.
"If the seatbelt work, why you have airbag? If the airbag work, why you mashing brakes?" I say, "See all that talk." I argue the law of physics, but I tell you, the security guard he laugh and he kill himself laughing, but he beg I put on my mask.
But while we in Massey now, while we in Massey,
Oh my God.
While he enter Massey now,
While
he don't
he
enter
in
Massey
Massey.
already, right? Without a
Right,
mask. They tell him put a mask on.
Filming
But
from
did you
Shop
pick up any melon John? You pick up any melon John in Massey when they went in and they tell you
I
put on
did
your
a
mask?
video this morning. I buy a melon jet. It's only when I reach home I realize, wait now, the melon jet small like this bottle.
I see. He put on one of these.
What?
The melon John barely bigger than this.
A
The
bygone.
melon John was about
I
bigger
don't
than
know
this.
how this ended up in the bag.
Aubergine.
A bygone. But man, $16 and 70 cents. But you know, it don't have enough choker in our melon jet to want to do one hops, eh? and it's $16. But what you tell me yesterday? A sprang a roti is what? Roti and gravy?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
anybody look.
neck and back.
Okay, the $70, the $70, the $70,
71,
but
the
it was an
71.34, right? That's what I say, right?
It was an error.
All right,
Had
but
to be an error.
That is the lie that you heard?
I
That
call
it has
in-
to be an
I
error.
heard 3.
I call in bubble on that pricing error, and I will tell you why.
Wait, before you say the error, PNM say that not Trinidad.
Yes, I saw that
Right.
on a post.
Namdevco say that price so because of the rain.
Yeah,
As he
farmers
say
have
that's
to
not the
live.
correct price, it was a mistake. So I say, which lie you buying?
Exactly.
It was an accident. The person doing the pricing had the
Mm.
wrong unit price. So when they're waiting and they calculate, it end up so.
And he asks, sensibly, that person didn't realize today's not your first day pricing melon. I want to
The
believe
person must be wearing their mask
on his
and
eyes.
And couldn't-
spectacles.
Ah.
On the exhale, it has fog up.
Fog it up.
That
Guys,
explains
So what
it.
happened?
Oh,
is they
it's-
fog up the
that
price.
explains
He fog up the price.
That's what happened.
But no, because
No, but
from your video,
your question is, so you telling me, even if the price man
make a
don't know
error.
the price of bygone,
Yeah.
they don't have a single floor manager. Imagine
All
if he had,
cashier.
well, exactly. So imagine if he had put
No,
all,
they just have to go peep.
was
But doing the
imagine
job
if he
and-
had underpriced the bygone. All the bygone would have sell out a
No,
massy.
but here's the serious
I
thing.
asking you a question.
If what?
If the bygone had reached the cashier for $1, all the cashiers running to get bygone and buy.
Well, I want to
because it's
know
$1.
what
Pick up some
what I want to know now.
Bygone sell out.
Have they notified Parashram and Dialsing? Because they're supposed to be doing contact tracing to find out how much people pay over
Pay the wrong
high
price.
exorbitant track. And
The
these are
contact
the
trace,
people,
you know what they call
these are
me?
the people that's contact trace,
You know what
right?
they call
So
me?
they need
But
to do
what
a
was the unit
contact
price on
tracing
yours?
to figure out, well,
What
who
was
bought this $70 melon jar?
I
Who
buy
buys melon jar?
$16
18!
piper.
18, but here we're going on, here we go catch them now. Because tomorrow morning they're in trouble with me, you know. Here why I want to find out. And I had the pictures, you know.
How many people buy that?
No. Here the more important question. The melon jar for $71.34, right? Everybody watching the $71.34. You watching the $18.64 for yours. You didn't see the price per pound.
That's what is.
$66.
That's what the problem is.
$66.
So
That's what the error
$10.39 a pound on both tags. So
Wait.
my thing is it can't be a pricing error.
Wait.
If they're selling melon jar at $30.39 a pound,
Stick up it.
and look at the weight of the melon jar on
Stick
both
up-
tags.
stick up
if
it.
I pull it up now, volleyball.
Stick up it. He is saying that's the mistake.
The unit
That
price.
the unit price, once you wait, it will translate to that end price.
Right.
What I am saying, fire the head of Namdevco, who watched that and found a reason to justify
But
that.
that's okay
He
because
didn't
they
check,
rain. It's
or
a
she
rain.
didn't check. I don't know who's in charge.
Well, they had to justify it, you know,
Boss
because
man,
remember that
you don't
particular
understand.
establishment is the establishment that finances the PNM.
Oh gosh, you're sure?
Go
I
to
ain't
the
go
time
that,
out
you
to
know.
go.
I'll
Yes.
go.
Look at
Right,
the time.
you see it
The
here,
time
watch it.
already.
What is he was
Watch it here.
That
$30.39 a pound, right?
Right.
$66.99 a kilogram. It's $71.34 because the weight is 1.065
Right,
kilograms. So
right.
just over
That
a
big,
kilogram.
right, yeah.
And it's $66.99 a kilogram. So $71.34, if you weigh that on a scale and you're using this price in here per pound or per kilogram, the scale is correct.
That's
See,
the
all
kind,
them
that, that's the
numbers
kind,
again?
So my
that's
thing
the
is,
kind of banditry
my
in-
thing
in-
is,
in-
who decided that melon jar is $30.39 a pound?
No, $13. They make a mistake.
All right, but look his melon jar here. I really didn't want to expose Phillip melon jar, eh? But look, Phillip, look.
That little thing.
Don't tell me
Wait, no, that
You see, that's 39 cents a
Hold on.
pound.
that baby finger.
But I can't even see it.
It was cool. It was
Philip
cool.
Melon, listen,
You can't expose
Philip
it.
Melon,
Blow it up, blow it up. Zoom in, zoom in.
Philip Melon, that baby finger boy.
It was in the fridge. It was
Right
in
now,
the fridge.
His melon jar,
China melon jar.
his melon jar weighed 0.280 kilograms.
Piece of a kilogram.
And it's $66.99 a kilogram.
Right.
That brought it to $18.76. Now my thing is, where is consumer affairs? Who deals with the pricing
Boss man.
and
It is
decides
but
what
it's
the
not
price
a
per
control
pound?
thing.
Your
It's up to the establishment.
Your blade sharp on two sides.
It's up to you. It's up to you
Your
as
blade- your
a
blade
citizen to buy.
Exactly.
No, his blade sharp on two sides. And what Stephan have a real pulpit. I want to ask you a question. Tomorrow morning on your show, Ask the head of NAMDEFCO who put out the release. If they had, you just count a set of numbers that half the people who was watching the show turned off because there's plenty of arithmetic and they didn't sign up for that.
Well, all right.
But
stay with us. We're coming back to basic maths.
But NAMDEFCO, this is my point. That is the, all them letters mean something in NAMDEFCO, you know.
Wait,
Philip,
I can't tell you
you know what
it
you're
mean.
missing, Philip.
Boss man,
You're
somebody
missing
put
something.
out a release.
But let me tell you what you're missing. In NAMDEFCO, there's probably a table. How much inches per of rain decides how much increase in price for this, for that, and that. The person check and they say, well, so much inches of rainfall that last month, which will justify a so much
But it's
dollar
how
increase in the price.
everybody-
They must have a table for it.
But it's how everybody knee-jerk reaction was to defend it. It's how everybody knee-jerk reaction was to find an excuse for it.
What did the minister say?
They say that is not Trinidad, that is Guyana.
They give it, in that Ghana, they're giving a melon jet there.
But first the price side, that is the Guyanese, that is Trinidad first response. That's hard to the Guyanese.
They're giving away melon jet in
Imagine
Ghana.
you pick up a melangen. He went over to melangen.
I
He sized
pick up
his
an
finger.
aubergine.
He sized his baby finger.
Yeah.
That one was
Did
like
your wife make choker with that melangen?
That was
No,
like
You can't even get it
It's
choked.
choker. She didn't make choker. That choker.
That baby
boss
finger
man.
choker?
that couldn't make enough choker for the one side of a house. I tell you.
But look at the pumpkin. You saw the pumpkin?
Well, as you watch it,
People started going massive now and taking pictures. This is $40.58 pumpkin.
we know when that happen.
$5.90
What are them
a pound.
Wait, serious?
Look at here,
but
40 something. You
Why
into the orange?
why people suddenly taking pictures of this? Massey has been
Errol.
pricing things
Wait, now,
based on
pumpkin,
what
is a little thing a pumpkin from
Massey has been
What the
pricing
market
things
would be?
based on their
What people would
overhead and everything, and people
Is a
been
dollar in
paying
the
it
market?
all the time.
That's not a dollar.
You know he talk about it. You know he talk about. You know he talk about it in that video. He talk about the plastic bag.
No, this is serious.
Now I remember when they had launched that plastic bag thing. That day, I went to Massey and I do a video, and
Right.
I show the country everything that have plastic in the store.
Right.
If 99% of the thing in the store is plastic, how does you change in your plastic bag? He do some arithmetic today. He getting good at this counting thing.
Oh, yeah.
He say 100,000 people walk in the store and buy 3 bags at 50 cents a bag, 150,000. Is he fast?
That's a week, eh?
That's a
Yeah.
week. That's what he do, right?
Average 100,000 people a week.
Yeah,
coming to
that's
Massey.
brilliant business.
This is where he lose me. And the 7.5 million. That's right.
Yeah, a year. That's
But
7.2 million a
if
year.
people will pay it,
In
we
plastic bag.
cannot
He
vex
said-
with
You know what he
Massey.
said? He said a $7.2 million profit. I said, I call him on the phone. I said, bro, that's not a $7.2 million profit. That's a $14.4 million profit. They used to pay for the bag. Massey used to have to pay for the bag before.
Right.
Not only do they not have to pay for the bag,
We
they
pay
didn't
for-
start giving away the bag free.
Yeah.
Now they're charging you. They save 7.2 and you paying 7.2.
7.2, yeah. I know what's the hard part. I break down that this morning to show people. This is a company, right? Where you have a card that is make you feel special. Your card, right? It's give you a card
Every
that
time
make
they
you
ask
special.
me if I had, I say,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't need it.
the bank does do the same thing with credit cards. It's give you a card to make you feel special, right?
Look, that is your 1% membership.
Boy. So when I
You already
mentioned
at 1%.
Half
when I
1%.
mentioned they started
Yeah,
to sell you
1%,
the bag that you was getting at no cost of 50 cents. A man calling first caller, Stephan, you have it wrong. You have it wrong. It's 25 cents and it's charges, not 50 cents. And I'm like, but you're missing the point. It don't matter if it's 25 cents or 50 cents. Apparently they're selling for 25 cents now. Right? Like they drop it from 50 cents to 25 cents. But in 2019, it was 50 cents. Because I have the article.
It was.
But they drop it, but that's not the point, and that's what Trinidadians has always missed.
Yeah.
It's not the point. The point is
The
not that it's
aristocrat.
25 cents or 50 cents. The point is you're getting the same bag by True Value for free.
They want to be
And it print True Value.
They want to be aristocrat who want to be seen in high low.
But
They defend those
If you
things.
know where you're reaching the story, today me and a fellow named Gerard Wims, who works in Grab and Go, we having a conversation. And he talking about I want you to hear this. He talking about the day that oppressing black people in the mall, in the bank. If you're coming in at 3/4 pants and a slippers, they blank in you. But the white fella come in the line and they let him through. I ask him, was the person who doing the stopping and the letting go a white man?
Never.
Was that person
No.
who do it? When you say they oppressing, I want to know, you know, who make the rules at the point of the decision that your skin color determines that you're 3/4 pants.
They have become
You're
so
the
good.
enforcers.
They have
You're the
conditioned
enforcers.
you. They have conditioned you.
You get a man a
to
stroke, you know, when you
oppress.
ask him that.
They have conditioned you to
Yeah,
oppress
sir.
yourself.
When
They have conditioned you to oppress yourself.
Stephan Matteson, when you realize that the day is we, it hard to take, boy. When it dawns on you that you are your own oppressor,
Yeah, your own enemy.
because I tell him,
Yeah.
I say, I just walk in the drugstore and go to the shelf with 2 for 1, buy one, get one free. I go in there first. Because if I see 2 things that I just buy, band up together, I win. To me, that's like a lotto. You understand? And if there's something going on, I will make noise. I will go in the grocery.
Unless you check the expiry date.
Right, but you are
And you realize the 2 of them expired or they expiring
Look
tomorrow.
at this. Look at this here. You people like you and Errol are the strength I use to talk. And I want to say that to you. It is many of us outside there. It is not one. It is many of us. And that is what the system is crumbling under. The people who go in now and film Massey and make a joke just now, I'll tell you, they feel empowered now, you know.
Of course.
They feel like somebody going and take my pumpkin picture and share it and it'll go viral. Because that's what has been getting messages whole day. And I show you, you need to put this on blast.
Yeah,
People
but-
always start,
yeah,
you
but-
need to light this up.
Yeah, but that's only for today.
Make this go viral.
Tomorrow,
You see the
what
bag of
that's
orange
normal.
for $62? 10 orange in a bag for $62.
Yeah,
It
that
ain't
is
peel.
really, yeah.
It ain't peel, you know. They didn't peel it.
But you know, when it peel,
the
it
orange
less.
Stop telling about
When it peel, it worth less.
So
not
now,
more.
so now when I have an orange tree home and a mango tree home and it's bare and I can't get any, I understand
But
why.
I don't even know what. I don't even know. We don't grow dragon fruit here.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we
We
do.
do?
It's
Yeah.
a big dragon
Yeah,
fruit
yeah,
field
yeah.
I
in
actually,
Trinidad.
I will give
Yes.
you the number now of the biggest
I
dragon
thought
fruit.
have foreign fruit. We doesn't
No. Dragon fruit growing
dragon
in
fruit is about
Trinidad.
$90
Normal.
$168 in Massey. Somebody take a picture it and send
Oh,
it.
God.
Occasionally,
My partner.
when I want my drag, I
My
will pay
partner,
that
he have been
occasionally.
serious? Is that
Yeah.
good?
Yeah, but it's a rare kind of fruit. I mean, it bears on something like a cactus.
Was that cactus?
I find
Sometimes one of those cactus only bear one.
I find it tastes like licking Bristol board.
It's like a
You see
Rasta
there's low thing in a rum
cactus.
shop too.
The tree does look like a Rasta cactus. A cactus with
No,
locks.
but I know of others who have the
A big field down south.
Oh,
Big
what-
field,
what-
big field.
what's it?
like licking a
I
Bristol
love
board.
that. boy.
What's
No, I
it-
love
what's
that.
it
That thing is
nutritional-
great.
what's it
And it have all
what's it
kind of
nutritional-
seeds in it.
What's the nutritional value of that?
Very
I
much.
cannot
idea.
confirm that because I never licked Bristol board. Why would you?
Man, yeah,
Why
yeah.
did you lick Bristol board, Phillip?
As a
No,
child,
no, what's the nutritional
I went to
It's
the
a
doc-
fruit.
I don't know.
It's a
My-
fruit.
I mean,
my-
it's a fruit,
It have
but-
tons of
parents had
vitamins
to
and all
rush me
kind
to
of
the
things.
hospital 4 times for pushing things up my nose. A light bulb, 2 crayon, and a soldier.
You were stupid since you're small.
It has deteriorated and it has deteriorated.
We use the word inquisitive. You never look at things and ask yourself, what would this do by pushing up my nose? You never ask yourself that.
No,
And you see the size of my nose.
I mean, when you look at
I
me,
want to
you look
look
like
at
Mr.
things
Bean,
like
eh?
this.
But
Not up,
you're pushing a light bulb up your nose, boy.
I don't like. To start with, I don't like anything up my nose. It is just feel. That is
I
why the
was
test.
small.
I wasn't traveling
was
to take no
small.
test because they want
I
to
was-
go up your nose. Nah.
Trying to
I was
redeem
small.
himself there.
I was small.
Trying to redeem himself there.
And I remember one of the crayons was purple. I remember that. We pull out the purple crayon.
It
The doc-
smelled different.
It smelled purple. The doctor asked me, I remember Dr. Milton Franklin McDowell. He asked me, what is your preoccupation with pushing things up your nose?
Way boy.
And I don't know, you know.
Well,
I've outgrown it.
You don't try to push nothing up, nobody knows now, though.
I've outgrown
He'd have been a much different adult if your preoccupation was pushing things up your butt. You know? He'd have been a much different adult today.
Yeah, much different.
Take a break for ads.
So as it stands right now, you have matured from pushing things up anything.
Any orifice.
All right, good, nice.
Any of my orifices.
Nice, nice,
Clearly, you're
nice.
pushing up
As
nothing
you
up.
know-
Yeah, pushing, if you can't, you know, man, a bygone beside your finger.
Well-
You're pushing up nothing, no way.
You know, I'll say this with everything I believe, the children should eyes. Or they know. I watching the chair. Or they was making children. Or they try thing too. Don't lie to me.
I didn't push anything
I
up
call
my
them mother.
nose.
I swear.
Look at my nose.
Not
Look
just-
at my
the
nose.
only thing you can
I
do
push
wrong
up
when you're a
other
child.
people's orifices, not my own.
Moving on, changing the subject. You see how Massey get away?
You're changing the subject?
You do your
All
thing.
right. Let me talk about the year-long celebration for 60 years of independence now.
When it started?
Apparently only 31st August.
No, the
Fire?
celebration for 2020, 2021 and 2022. Remember 2021 and 2022?
But I see the papers this morning, year-long celebration for 60 years.
But this is what I'm saying. We were closed 2020 and 2021.
I think
The
we
tradition.
should
60 years is a
But
big deal.
Okay, but what we
of all the
celebrating?
videos
Well.
to be live. The video with me and my pushing thing on my nose. I mean, we're gonna edit
You wish
it.
you could have edited that,
We're gonna
eh?
edit it. Edit this.
No, but what we celebrating?
Bossman, 60 years of making a failed nation. Just a failed nation. You don't want to hear me say it. Plenty people over there
That
say
is
it.
true.
People just give me all kind of different way to say it. It's not the nation that failed, it's we. The country didn't fail. The island didn't fail. But the nation is the people and the island together.
Yeah.
That is what failing. We the people failed the country, but it failed.
Yeah.
If you go back to August 31st, 1962, we had more assets per capita than we do now. And we've spent $3 trillion. We've sold or broken the train, can,
Sugar,
sugar, oil,
steel
cocoa,
mill,
steel.
cocoa and coffee.
Trinidad had one of the biggest tire factories.
Dunlop.
Dunlop.
In Point
Dunlop,
Fortin.
when Dunlop get fed up at Trinidad, the day they close it down was the day they leave. The union didn't even know. They just gone. They said, keep it. Fed up at Trinidad. We've never made, I don't think we've made anything new. Point Lisas comes to mind, but I don't think Point Lisas ever had a chance to return on the investment. Everything in Point Lisas seems to be closing down.
But Point Lisas in the glory days would have brought a lot of revenue to the country. And still Kankor, we were one of the biggest exporters of
Methanol
methanol.
and urea.
at one- and that was coming out of Point Lisas.
Right.
So it did
But that's
turn
not us though.
But
Metanex and those companies.
so what the
came in.
company
We
state did
were
was provided
landlords.
that infrastructure,
We were
provided a
landlords.
thing for it to come in and do the
Let's say the
thing.
infrastructure, we provide roads. But
No, the favorable price for the natural gas, all the different things. We create a ecosystem.
But we
for them
didn't.
to thrive.
I don't
Did we
think.
get enough out of it?
I don't even think we got a tenth of
I
what
don't
we
think we
should
got
have
enough
gotten.
out of it.
Exactly,
from all of those
exactly,
things.
and exactly,
Because
and
we were
exactly.
literally raped.
But exactly, you just said it.
No
you
grease.
have to give them
With no grease.
a favorable price
That's
of natural
raw.
gas. If you are just selling
Dry.
natural gas, you see America is the biggest supplier in the world of natural gas right now.
And at one time, we were the biggest
We were the
supplier
biggest.
But
to America.
But even before you go to all of those things, basic things, water, pipe-borne water, 60 years independence.
Yeah.
I remember.
You know what
Yeah,
makes me
but-
laugh? You know what makes me laugh?
Tell me.
Sometimes, you know, it have an old article from that is people has been sharing on WhatsApp and stuff. Water for all since 1960 something.
No, It's
And
a
then
type
share
of
it.
waterfall.
What?
It's not like for all,
No,
but it's for all.
Right, and when people share it, they share it out of frustration, disgust, that even that way back then, this was the plan, and we here now, and it hasn't materialized.
But you know,
And I ask myself, you know, I just sit and I ask myself, you know, as a 45-year-old man,
You know it?
I find so.
I know, I
You
know,
know
I know,
it?
I know,
Well,
I come on the
well,
late
well,
train,
probably
late
more
train.
about-
Remember waterfall
I come on the
by
late
2020.
train.
By
But-
1966.
But thing
Yeah,
is,
I know,
you know,
but-
you sit down here and you absorb that, you really think about it. How you could still have the same mindset going forward? Isn't that something like that supposed to change the way
Wait,
you
you
think?
you think we didn't go backward? The Queen had standpipes.
Yeah.
We don't have no standpipe anymore. They take out all the standpipes so bottled
I
water.
don't say that. I
can
don't say that. Have a PNM activist from East Port of Spain try to get water out of a pipe, a standpipe the other day.
Clearly, it's
Couldn't
not
get
supposed to be a working standpipe.
That is
Yeah.
not a standpipe. That would have to
It's
be
supposed to be
a
a
water
working
device.
standpipe.
a water
It
device.
would be a water device.
But I mean,
But
aren't
you know what
we-
I remember
you know,
as a
but the
boy,
community used
as,
to
as
gather
the
around
oldest
the
person
roads.
sitting here, I could remember furthest back. You know what I remember that I'm saddened has disappeared. When my mother had my youngest brother and my brother before him, the area nurse would come home and weigh him, measure his head, give him shots and all them kind of things. The area nurse would come because there was a sense that a mother who just gave birth didn't need to pack a bag
and go
and get in a car or a taxi or a maxi or a bus to go somewhere.
But that is so
The
sensible.
area, and that's work for people.
That is so sensible.
And the nurse earned enough to have a vehicle to come and, you know.
So how we
These
reach
are
the
the
point
things
where
So
that
we
you're
know?
trying to tell me that we knew that then. We knew it then. If you go and watch what those young mothers go through now in the public health system, it is criminal. It is almost like they're punishing you for making a child. And you don't get the comparison, well, you know, 3 months ago she was here or he was here and they're here now. And according to the statistics, you're above average or below average, or nothing.
So yeah, could
Nothing, you're on your own. So what he's saying, and you're saying, away from
Even the
water.
public health system, I mean, it seems to have deteriorated.
Brother man, I have a
Even
picture
more
of the
than-
General
I mean-
Hospital when Memorial Park didn't exist. It was the Colonial Hospital.
Right, but what
there
I'm
was
saying
no
is-
Memorial Park. There was none of that up there by the Savannah.
What I'm saying is the service, when you look at the amount of money that has been spent
The Royal
on the system,
Hospital.
the service has
The
even
Colonial.
the service has
It's
deteriorated.
Royal.
I know somebody
it's
who went
a
to the hospital in
long
94,
funeral
right?
to the
She had some liver
Royal
problem.
Hospital.
And she sat up to yesterday evening. She was still sitting waiting for a bed. And she was admitted to the hospital, an old lady, a lady about 74.
I just get twice a day those comments. I want to tell you
Waiting
something.
on a bed.
I argued with
I
somebody
can't believe that.
who she come in my
Western General Hospital.
She come in my direct message to tell me that how I hit in the hospital too hard, and the problem is people who recover, they stay in the bed and the family come and pick them up. I say, you don't understand the
So hold on.
insanity of saying to me that sick people in a chair waiting, well people in a bed. Put the well people in a chair.
And a chair and put the sick people in
Let
there.
Let them wait.
They had to wait on an order for that, you know. They had to wait for somebody to tell them that, you know. It's like, no, because it's like some of the people that employed, like if somebody not there to think for them,
This is why I've always said.
They can't think for themselves.
And I was having
That's
a
what it
debate
is.
today. Really and truly, sometimes we blame the wrong set of people for the ills that is going on, that is taking place in the system. Because you hire managers to do things, to make things happen. And for some reason, the people who are under them do what they want and they are not held accountable. But in the same vein, I was telling the person who we was having that discussion that ultimately I still had to blame the people who we voted, because when they came on platforms and they said that we will fix this will be better, waterfall in 2020
I know a
or
fella
whatever.
said you'll fix everything these days. you know.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, Phillip, you feel you can fix everything. Yeah, no, you can't fix it. But what I'm saying is,
Well, let me bring up here them on the show today.
but what I'm
Look
saying
so.
is, but what I'm saying is, they and all has to be blamed. They and all has to be held responsible, because they
But more than blame, more than blame,
that will hold people responsible.
as a people, what are we prepared to do about it?
That is
I like to know,
that is
where's the
question.
action?
So the people
when you
who
tell me the problem, I want
ultimately
to
have
know
to
where's the
blame-
action.
If you're talking about the politician, the people who you really ultimately have to blame is us.
That's right.
Now, you reach the chicken and the egg. Let me bring a next chicken for you. How did we end up with a nation divided by race? How did we end up with that? How did we end up with your income tied to your race? How did we end up with a dude system that became URP that paid people to come off the farm and separate the country? How did we end up with that? How? How did we end up with politics that was allowed to do the things that they did? I just wanna ask one
We
more
start with that, you know.
question. Will you see?
We start with it, you know. On the 4th of July,
But when you tell me that the Black Power
1962,
uprising, African and Indian walk
together. And every time they do that in this country, people get licks and people get shot. But on the 4th of July 1962, the bill for the independence of Trinidad was read in the UK Parliament. Backbenchers, frontbenchers, everybody who had something to say was saying, yes, go with it. However, they have to be careful of the racial problem that exists in the country. This 4th of July
You have that
1962.
footage?
But it's Hansard, it's online, it's in the
Okay,
UK
no, you have no
Hansard.
footage, you have no footage, but
No,
I'll
but
read
it's there, it's online.
Okay.
Let's go into the
I'll go
UK
there.
Hansard
I
and
want-
check it out. 4th of
I
July.
want to see that.
It's great reading that everybody cited that. They talk about William's brilliance, they talk about all kind of things. And everybody, however, that Indian and African racial divide is the problem that they have to look out for.
I think that was.
And today-
I think it probably was more prominent
was.
then.
So
but
we
it's more
start-
an
we start
illusion
with it.
today.
We
It's more
start
an
with it.
illusion today than anything else. And maybe then, in the days of Eric Williams and Capildale, two leaders, maybe it was a problem. But today, to me, I doesn't see that as a real problem. I think it's more illusion. It's something that pops its head more around election time to divide.
The way you say that make it sound harmless,
To divide.
and it is the problem. You make it sound harmless
Because it affects
But
the
it is
most
the-
fundamental thing, which is the polling.
That is the problem. He just said it. Every time African and Indian unite in this country, the country shakes because the system,
licks.
the system that benefits from the racial divide don't want that to happen.
His brother said we don't party or we just
How we
vote.
vote
don't
is
vote
not how
or
we
we
Not how we
party.
vote.
I say that was not compliment. Listen to this, right? Listen to this. We spend $25,000 a month to jail a man thieving a bottle of water. He now can't afford bail and he can't afford lawyer. So he in jail for about 8 years for thieving a bottle of water.
For a crime that if he's guilty of it, he's going to spend significantly
6
less
months. 6
time
months.
in jail.
6 months. But he there for 8 years, right? But not only we spending $25,000 a month to house him, we spending money to move him back and forth to the
Transport
court
him.
to adjourn the matter. We're spending money for the state prosecutor. We're spending money for the judge's time and all of the assistants and the clerks and the court and the air condition. We're spending all that money for a matter that the state should. How much it take? $5. We have no clue of the extent of the mismanagement of this country. But the average person will be wound up to say, he should have never thieved that bottle. Jail he has.
What you do it for?
What you do that? Jail he has. And they don't understand it, that the 8 years of the $300,000 just to house him, not to count the $30,000 to move him, all of that they're paying for the pleasure of their outrage and anger. They're working harder because when you're paying the price that you're paying for food in this country and bread and
When they can just say restorative justice, listen, the state or his family or they pay back the man for the bottle of water
Yeah.
and
but
you get a slap on your wrist.
no, but somebody
Community
Just
service something.
Community service and
but in a real sensible country, right? A man thief a bottle of water. The first question should be why.
Who work is that? All right, I'll tell you why I asked you that, right?
Baman, bring around.
Hey, Welch, you could WhatsApp me a link. We live, right?
Oh, we
WhatsApp me
live?
the link now. Let
So
me
we can
share it
share.
on something. Yeah.
Yeah, and bring around.
Here why I asked that. I had a criminologist from the UK on my show this week, right? So we talking and thing before we went on, and I say, what is the role of a criminologist? Because we have about 4 or 5 in the country, and I don't
That
think
we know of.
that we know of, and I don't know if they actually understand what their role is, right? So the lady was telling me, she said, well, one of the things that we do is we go into the prisons, talk to the prisoners, and find out why they come in Yak. We try to pick their mind. That is one of the rules of a criminologist. What criminologists we have in Trinidad and Tobago is go into the prison and pick the prisoner's mind to find out the same question that you just
Why?
asked. Why you steal this bottle of water? Who does do it? Renee Cummins does do it?
She's the most known.
But does she do it? Do we
but
have
she made
a
up.
criminologist going in there to find out? Because if we don't, this is why the whole situation with crime is a mess. Because we don't even have an understanding of the fellas that in the jail and why they come into the
Why
yard.
would you need to have an understanding in a country when I interviewed the commissioner of prisons and the head of the Prison Service Association in an interview during the lockdown? And both of them admitted to having heard the then Attorney General Faris Arawi in the Parliament say $25,000 a month to house a prisoner. They say they don't see that money. that
don't,
don't come to the prison.
they don't understand how it is, how
They
it is.
don't understand why a contract exists. Private sector contract exists to transport prisoners when that is their responsibility.
And they have
and
the- they have what
nobody
they need.
ever consulted them.
Yeah.
It wasn't a problem that needed solving. Nobody
It was
consulted.
They
foisted
could
on
have
them.
spent a tenth of that money and,
The-
and purchase proper
Tenth-
vehicles
The
and have
term it came like a thief in the night was used. That all the prison trucks and the Blackberry and all them things.
And all the
just
drivers on the
Park
payroll
up.
and everything.
All
And
that.
as a matter of fact, that particular business that got the contract to do that, they were preparing for that contract 2 years before, or retrofitting vehicles and things, some 2 years before.
Yeah.
That contract was actually awarded to them.
They
This-
call that,
yeah.
they call that the business proactive planning.
This is what demonstrates what we mention that things are political footballs in the country. This is such a thing. You understand? Because this is a business. All the people getting locked up for the water for 8 years waiting for the thing to happen, right? They are a part of delivering money to the people who have the contracts to supply the prison with all the different things. It's not
it's
by
a business.
chance that the case not calling. It is a systemized thing. It's a systematic
So
thing.
when
That's
we
what we're
say-
talking about now. Let me-
When we say crime
Sorry,
don't
yeah.
pay, it just
It's who
doesn't
it don't pay for.
It just
Tell
doesn't
me.
pay for
It's
the
who it
man
don't pay.
The man who created the job.
Paying somebody.
The criminal.
Brother,
He's not paying for
when,
you.
when
Exactly.
they
He's
talk,
paying for everybody.
when they
Exactly.
talk about
You
crime
understand?
in Trinidad, the one thing they're leaving out is that crime in Trinidad and Tobago is a massive industry.
It's an
It's a
industry.
massive business.
Look at CCTV cameras. CCTV cameras supposed to assist in the fight against crime, right?
Satish,
The report came out where half of them was not working, right? And we have the Minister of National Security, Pomsi Terras, holding a press conference the other day talking about they're going to order more CCTV cameras, right? So I pull back a little story, doing a little reading and stuff. And TSTT have the capabilities of doing it. TSTT, which the state has a 51% share. But TSTT not getting the contract for the CCTV cameras. They send out a tender for
Boss
another
man.
company to bid for it, right? But
Let me just get this
when,
one.
when I
They
call
already-
Clyde
they already
Elder-
know who that
Wait,
company
wait,
is.
when I call Clyde Elder, I say, Clyde, I read an article here where TSTT was rejected based on technical issues. And he explained me, he said, yeah, the technical issue is that the state is owing TSTT. Oh God, this is going into a whole other thing with all the employees at the return the other day, and TSTT and doing good and thing. The state is owing TSTT $700 million for the initial set of CCTV cameras that TSTT set up for them. The state decided they ain't paying TSTT that $700 million, they only paying $200 million, and that matter in court.
and a private sector company
So they
will
will
get
get
the
500
new
million.
contract for our next 700 million and they will get paid.
Inflated.
Well, they had to get
Exactly.
paid because
What about
somebody
this?
else had to get paid.
I have been
Fellas, I
told,
get called to come home, I have to go. I have a live show at 7 and we have some techie things that I need to go and deal with.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just be
But
when we get
we have
called
a-
home.
we have a-
When in the rum chop and I
You
get called
know
home.
when
Had to
mama
go.
when mama call you to go because
that's why he have
Big man.
19 children.
we ain't serving time
Call
for
it
you. No, but seriously, I mean, I know Errol.
You're wrapping up. But I want to tell you, do
yeah.
you know
Come on
that-
the show, we need you on the show, man.
that TN Tech, fellas,
Yeah, no, we go finish the bottle for you.
Errol, we talk later, right?
We go finish the bottle for you.
We'll finish that conversation that we was
Yeah,
having.
you was drinking all the chaser anyhow.
Do you know? Do you know that TN Tech has the biggest internet framework in this country?
No, I did not.
TN Tech.
TN Tech.
You mean infrastructure?
Their infrastructure for that. All of the cabling that is required. TN Tech.
TN Tech.
That's how they monitor all their meters and all of that stuff, right? Because
Wow.
it's now feedback, direct feedback, and it is underutilized. TN Tech. Who owns the lamp post? It's not a telephone pole. Eh?
The lamppost?
It's a lamppost.
No, it has a Tiantec.
That is
Tiantec?
Tiantec
No,
property.
no,
Here was saying
but-
there,
but-
Tiantec property.
but
Tiantec
I'm
don't have to
saying
charge
is-
the self-rent. Tiantec could have been given the contract
No,
to
but,
provide the
but
cameras.
remember, there was a time when both Tiantec and TSCT or Telco had lampposts,
Infrastructure.
right? Infrastructure. So I think
Well, whoever bungs
most
up
of the
who-
lampposts that was the wooden ones, those wooden ones that don't rot or rust, they were Telco owned. Some of them still existed. Most of
Okay.
them, yeah. So,
But the majority of poles, if you want to do any kind of advertising on a lamp pole and thing, you have to go to Tiantec. The majority of the poles and the lamp pole number and thing, those things are controlled by Tiantec. And all I'm saying is, if that is true, then why is Tiantec not given an option to bid? Why Tiantec don't get a chance to make some of that money? Why? Or why you don't zone it? Why does it have to be a national contract? Why you can't zone 41 contracts? So somebody, like how they had
Yeah,
started,
constituency by
like how they had
constituency.
started with the cable company. Before we end up with one cable company.
that might be kind of cumbersome.
Why is it cumbersome though? At the end of the day, it's a feed.
You had to deal with 41 different service providers.
And exactly will tell you who doing the job.
Right.
Who doing a better job.
Yeah, I think that's and it would create, well, it would create opportunity for more contractors if you're doing it that way, the way that you
But
suggested.
competition is good for everything.
Yeah,
Competition.
I think so. You could give out multiple contracts. It
don't
doesn't
have
have to be
it
one
don't have
contract to
be,
supply for the whole
It don't have to
country.
be, and you don't have to get sidelined by that too much. I just saying to you, if you wanted to make it make sense,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be one thing that could go down. We have too many cases where the Salcott filters not filtering and then half the country under water. We have too many situations like that. We need to decentralize those operations, critical operations of things that people should be able to have options and competition.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Lest we forget a tree fall and black out the whole country, you know. So these things happen at times,
And
you know.
nobody knew when.
And nobody I still amazed with that, you know, that nobody have a picture of the tree that fell and black out the whole country. Not one picture in the world of social media where somebody could take a picture of Melanjon in Massey and they could share it all over the place and everybody know what the Melanjon like and everybody know the price of the Melanjon. But a tree fall and black out a whole country.
You know why?
And nobody snap a
You
picture.
know why? Because it took a committee to find out what happened. It took a committee to get involved to say what caused the
We are the
blackout.
most committees in the world.
No problem.
Everything. We
But
had to
I-
set up a committee.
But I'm saying to you,
Everything.
you ready to bring him in? Well, we have a new guest joining us. Mr. Matterson has used master of ceremonies today.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
his
not
name is
Reis.
Stephan Mitchell. He's a businessman around, and I noticed
Habitual rum drinker.
habitual rum drinker. And I
Can't come in.
I noticed you was just talking about security,
Oh yeah. And
That's your field?
married.
and that is a security
Security?
man.
But look how you get a contract just now.
Yeah,
I know
So-
trucks, eh?
we have him
I
on
know
set
truck.
today.
Yeah, that's
I know truck. I passing through.
Yeah,
I know truck.
we have him on set today,
I know truck.
right?
So what type of business you into?
But he really management consulting, eh? But I work with
Management consulting. All right. Any?
My point to you, Stephen, and I really want, what kind of, are we live now?
Yeah, we live, right? Yeah, we live, man.
Yeah, you have the link?
Yeah, big up. Yeah, they sent it to me here. I think this is it.
Yeah, I get it now.
All right. Yeah, big up everybody on the live stream. This is the first live that we have done.
It's
Episode
actually
5.
a test.
Yeah.
It's actually a test, and
To see if we could go live.
the intention
Yeah.
is, when we started this, is that it would be a live show throughout the country, and as Satish Amsaran and David Welch and the rest of their team getting ready to take it national, we had to do a system test,
Yeah.
and that is this. So you will find new things happening today as we testing everything, and it is actually being broadcast live.
Yeah.
no editing that.
And remember
No
to share it.
So, so you can't take back.
Share it.
No
All right.
take back. Yeah. I sending it out now.
Nice, man. So yeah, after today, we the testing stage. This? Okay, we're passing this over. Alright, you see why we're testing? Right, nice. And you know we're in the era of testing.
No, but I want to tell you something. Eh?
Testing everything.
What you're looking at
Testing.
when you see us, this is not a studio.
Yeah.
This is not a set. And if you see the amount of infrastructure that Satish and David Welch and their team put together in a couple hours before the show, and it's good, and the reason they're doing it like this is because we are going to be going on location.
Yeah.
They have to be able to go
We had to
set
test
up
it.
and take down, and to have multiples of camera angles. There have been times it's been 6 of us, and to have multiples of individual camera angles and all of that coming to our feed. And today, taking those camera angles and going live, they're doing real work. They're doing
Yeah,
good
man.
work. They're
And I
doing
want to
good.
say that the one thing that the rum shop missing
It's rum.
is rum, and we're getting that from next week. Richard Licasella said he gonna handle that. That's Richard Licasella in Marbella. So I'm supposed to pick up the drinks tomorrow. And
So
we
you
will
get
have
the rum
rum.
after the show.
Yeah, rum.
No,
We get the rum after the ad.
No,
I not seeing him until Friday. So I tell him, look, I will come down Friday. So we'll have it for next week Thursday.
What's the
But,
name of your
yeah.
liquor shop?
Richard Licasella in Marbella. He's a
Rum.
liquor mart.
Ramona,
Licasella.
Yeah.
Liquor seller.
Liquor, yeah.
So you just sell liquor?
Liquor, yeah.
I
Oh.
just
You don't do
get
it.
that.
Right.
I just get why people is called this store liquor.
Liquor, yeah, because when you drink alcohol, you lick.
We,
What you this on?
We
Yeah, I'm
like
very interested to know what.
Liquor.
last time he said something about Murray Street.
Yeah.
Right. It's where his mind goes.
I kind of interested here.
Oh, you said what Marbella liquor seller. So what you selling? Liquor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'll look
Not
at
alcohol.
me live, but they can't edit. But I just get this seller selling. I just
You just get that. All right, good man.
You know why? You know it hard.
Uh-huh.
My father used to have a store on 81 Western Main Road called the Liquor Cellar when I was a little boy, and I now understand why it was called cellar.
Cellar.
I thought it was cellar like underground,
Oh, right.
because that's how it's spelled.
But I wanna just bring a little topic into the conversation here, because on my way here, I don't know if Phillip realized it. I don't know who else living in the West. Everybody here in the West? They put the lights by the corner of Carlos Street and Adam Smith Square blinking, so there is no traffic light per se. Just approach with caution, right? I personally find it ease up some traffic on the avenue.
I think they should do a lot of that. And
So it's more discretionary driving now.
Right.
No,
Because I always
that's
say-
about discretionary. If it blinking red on this side and
But the blinking red on both
Orange
sides.
on the
Both
other
sides
side.
blinking, blizzards
Both
blinking,
sides are
tell you
blinking
proceed
red.
with caution.
both red means stop and proceed with
Yeah,
caution.
so it's
Caution.
discretionary.
So-
So it's
You
The
don't
thing is
want
this,
to
right?
slow down and proceed with caution.
My thing is this. I always say there is a reason why they call it a traffic light. It's because it causes traffic. Case in point, Western Main Road, St. James. When you reach by Courts, you have a traffic light there. Between Bombay and Clarence Street, you have another traffic light. By Mokarapo Girls School, you have another traffic light. And by George Cabral Street down to the end by the church, you have another traffic light.
Yeah.
It's four
Yeah.
set of traffic lights on that one stretch in St. James on the Western Main Road. Hence the reason why, at certain hours, the
There's
Western
traffic.
Main Road
Gridlock.
have ridiculous traffic. Arapita Avenue
Can't
is the
believe it.
next
Thoroughfare that.
active roadway to go east and west, where you had outside of Track Road, but where you had congestion as well. But I really find the blinking traffic lights that they put there by Adamson Square ease up a lot of the traffic. And I have to acknowledge the Ministry of Works and Transport when Rohan Sidanan just came in. Because I remember some years ago, you know French Street, right? When you go down French Street and you want to swing onto Reis Road,
Yeah.
it used to be hell and high water.
To get inside, yeah.
And I did a video. That video must get nearly 1 million views. I do a video with 2 vehicles in front of me because this one was ridiculous. Because now get a car is first time I'm driving and I've never really passed there before. 2 vehicles were in front of me and that light changed 4 times and I didn't reach the corner to get onto Rice Road. Because everything backing up, coming down Rice Road with the traffic light by Power Gen. And I did a video on it. And a few months ago, I passed there and I see the Ministry of Works and Transport. They figured it out. They put a blinking yellow
But brother,
so you could swing out
when you drive down
You know?
Mokarapo Road and you reach Damien Street
and it ease it up.
corner, with Mokarapo Road becomes Robert Street, which becomes Warren Street.
Yes.
That street with one Woodbrook Place. that brings you down from St. James to Mokorabo.
That's Damien,
That's
yeah.
Damien
Damien Street, yeah.
It becomes Taylor Street, right?
You're right.
That intersection has a traffic light. He just spoke about it. Taylor Street, which is the forward of Damien Street, is one way going that way. So everything that is heading left should be allowed to turn left, because there is nothing that could ever come this way and hit you. That's how it works. If you're heading along Warren Street, you reach Anna Street on your right, Polkaroo Street on your left, there is a thing. Anna Street is a one-way again. You're supposed to be able to turn left.
To turn left,
it's
yeah.
counterintuitive.
Yeah.
So the fact that they didn't know is what annoys me the most. But you're talking traffic and you talk traffic there. I want to tell you something. What causes traffic? And Dr. Ray Fabien actually is having a show tomorrow, I think it's Pinal, talking about the highway. Dr. Ray Fabien is one of the best traffic people I have ever heard speak in the world. He's a Trinidadian.
Okay.
And they have the solutions to all of Trinidad's traffic problems. We just don't implement them. You remember when Jack and Louis had done the...
Yeah.
And that end all the traffic in
Yeah.
this. It end all.
Traffic was over.
The business community in St. James complained that St. James became a four-lane highway, that people was just flying.
And it wasn't stopping.
And they wasn't stopping to buy bread and newspaper and juice. So we put everybody back in traffic, cost the country. They're not trying to understand it. Hundreds of millions of lost man hours. Hundreds of millions
businesses.
of dollars. So our business can sell our juice and our paper.
No, but not for businesses lose money too. With traffic, their workers come to work late. That's hours.
No, but I'm saying
hundreds,
that is the
hours.
that is the money we're talking
You're
about.
losing
That's lost
productivity.
Brother, in Germany,
that kind of thing.
it is now law. When you leave your home to go to work, from the moment you enter into the process of going to work, you have to be paid for that. So if it's taking you 2 hours to get to work, those 2 hours count. And that makes sense.
Well,
those are not supposed to be 2 hours lost to you.
Well, you're talking about a first world country and first world thinkers, right? Now, let me analyze this. So, we collect a lot of taxes by way of fining people for all kind of traffic, all kind of unimaginable traffic offenses, right?
Yeah.
And in that fine, in most of them, if you are unable to pay it, right, you lose the merit points, and to the point where after a period you can lose your license.
But certain offenses
right?
have the merit points coming
now,
with it. So.
Now, when you lose your license,
you get the merit points automatically for seatbelt.
Right, seatbelt breaking and traffic light, but everything else are broken, a blown light under your ID light, and that kind of using the merit points for that. That makes no sense.
It's stupid.
You don't come out and check your car every time you're going. Your light can blow anytime.
It is idiotic. It is
idiotic.
It is ridiculous.
But more than that, you have a failed transportation system in Trinidad and Tobago. So that man who lost his license because he can't drive, he lost his by virtue of points. He loses income, and he has no other way to take his family to work, to ply his job, what he's doing, because we don't have a system where we have reliable transportation to get from A to B.
Just the bus system, like the bus system yesterday in South, where they just shut down the whole South.
So you trying to use first world solution in a third world system. It makes no sense.
I was going somewhere just now.
Yeah.
We are in the process of building a $500 million flyover in Diego Martin.
Oh, next one.
So that people who live in Victoria Keys could get to West Mall faster. The exact same infrastructure. That's all it's for.
Yeah.
That's all it does. It gets you from Victoria Keys
to West Mall
faster. The same infrastructure, or maybe less, where Montrichard Appliance Distributors is, across the road from Colville Street, that, if you remove that from there, that's state land, Montrichard pays the Port Authority of Trinidad and Tobago to rent there, at least. Sings Rentals, and all of them. Everybody there paying a rental. If you remove Montrichard Appliance Distributors from there completely, you see Dock Road. the widest, biggest piece of infrastructure, road infrastructure in the West is Dock Road.
From Hyatt.
Dock Road from Hyatt.
Go straight down.
If you took that same infrastructure that they built for $500 million so that wannabe 1%ers could get West Mall faster, and had put that where Montreal Appliance Distributors is now, people who coming into town, not into Port of Spain, but coming into St. Clair and all the other St. James and Woodbrook and thing, they would have just filtered into Dock Road, over that flyover, into Colville Street. And all of the traffic that used to stop there, because it is at that power gen traffic light that creates all of the traffic on Wrightson Road and Tragrit Road as people trying to get past that obstacle of that Colville Street.
But we still looking at
power gen.
but you still looking at road and building bigger roads and that kind as a solution. That's not a solution. You have other solutions. You have other things you could use, like what they do in places like Miami and that kind of thing. Use RFID to control traffic. Use regulate who could come into town with your vehicle when things like sharing your vehicle, you know, that kind of thing. All those things, carpooling, all those things make sense. More sense than building more roads.
But I'm saying to you, you want to know the absolute solution to all the traffic in Port of Spain? The 250,000 people that come and cause that traffic every single day to work in all them government offices.
Decentralized.
Patrick Manning had a document this fat on his desk, and he knew. And the entire PNM government knew when they went to build that waterfront and all of those government campuses throughout the country and all that national insurance property land, all of those billions of dollars that was spent there could have been spent in the center of the island. You could have created a new government campus for all of that. The people who we talk about that come into work in town, that is leave home 3 o'clock in South, to come to work in town, and the children growing up in the backseat of the car, it would have get them to work in 15 and 20 minutes.
But you know, the teaching hospital in San Fernando, next to the General Hospital, supposed to be an administrative complex, you know.
Chancery Lane, yes.
To move some of the people, it was never hospital, you know. So he was on it. He was on it. A little slow, but he was on it in terms of moving the people in South. You stay in South as the case may be, and continue that road. But you politics funny sometimes.
No, but the 2 years of the lockdown taught you this: that the country survived.
We don't need
to
be on the road.
250,000 people in
town.
town.
Let me give an example of that. Yeah. During the lockdown, I go to Legal Affairs. Legal Affairs Department was the most efficient department during the lockdown. When you do your thing online, make your application online, set your appointment, you just go in and pay. I could have got a registration for a company same day. I do my thing online, I go in, within 2 hours time, I'm out of there with a certificate for a company. Oh, they're going back out to work now. Well, we're going back.
Yeah, how is that possible?
No,
when I say how is it possible?
But hear the question after asking, and I always fight Stephen on this, you know. The problem is with the people, you know.
Right, because I'm not going to ask you that.
Because I bring the AG into this yet.
How is it logically possible?
In a country of 1.4 million.
People.
In a country of 1.4 million people. Why is
process.
250,000 people coming into Port of Spain every day?
Useless.
That is a trackable percentage of the population. Yeah. Why is so many people working for the state? Yeah. What is the state involved in that requires 250,000 people to come like lemmings and termites from all around the country to come into Port of Spain?
What are you involved in? Donkey logic. Donkey logic with everything.
And big piles of
traffic.
yes.
Listen, this whole, you know, my pet peeve
truckloads of it.
My pet peeve is this whole this system of demerit points and tickets, and that is a fundraiser, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I ask, so the registration system, I ask myself, what's the real mischief you trying to solve? If I have to go for 2 years, I have to go and get a sticker on my vehicle to say I'm registered, and 6 months after getting that sticker, my vehicle could be in the same state that it was, worse state than it was 6 months before. And so I drive in for a year and 6 months with an unroadworthy vehicle, but I have a sticker on it.
What do you think?
What's the mischief you're trying to
I'll tell you what's the mischief.
What's tax collection?
What's just tax collection? You're wasting time and you're frustrating the public with all these traffic jams and police and licensing officers all over the road stopping people.
Stephen Matheson,
that's nonsense.
Is this a secret?
You're wasting time.
Is this a secret? What is the number one income generator in the budget?
Taxation.
Taxation, direct and indirect taxation.
Yeah.
The number one income of our budget is direct and indirect taxation. All of that is taxation. The government continuously looks for ways to take money from you. People say that we have a 38% tax. Trinidad has a 62% tax.
More than 60%.
You look at how much
Everybody
money
pays taxes.
You can't escape it.
Everybody, a child going to school.
But you see, I just always say, the problem is not paying the tax, you know.
Is what you doing with
The
it?
problem is what we gain in return.
What we get in return?
What we get in return for the
But we
taxes
like
we
sheep
pay.
in Trinidad and Tobago. We just go in and
the storm slash weather front, wherever it was the other day, cyclone, wherever. As that passed through, right? Imbood come out and say, well, you know, property tax is going to help the local government arms in the event of flooding and disasters during times like that. So he take that immediately and try to tie it into the property tax and how the property tax is going to benefit communities.
Like how the gas tax have the road.
And the road tax.
Like how the gas tax have the road.
Yeah. So
it's certainly helping that piece of road and run that Independence Square.
But look, when is the last time you passed by St. Mary's Church? You see the hole?
No.
Brother, I could tell you where that starts and where it reached now.
No, you know why you're asking me that? I want to tell you something. People have sent me pictures of holes and roads throughout the country. I mean, I can't do anything with it now. It is so much information. If I was the Minister of Transport with responsibility to fix it, I can fix all because I know where all the bad roads are. People willing. If you tell Trinidadians, badroads.com, take a picture of your road and send it here so we can come and fix it, they will go out with their video and videotape it.
But who is responsible for fixing the road? We the people.
We responsible.
We vote for the people who...
How are we responsible?
I
really want to hear how we responsible.
Is your uncle managing it? Is my brother? Is your cousin? Who managing it? It's just how you say, hear what you say about the traffic light.
Yeah, but who you holding responsible?
Wait. You see, boy, before Rohan, and when Rohan come the traffic light, well, Rohan will tell them, change the traffic light by French Street and things, yeah? For the traffic situation to make sense.
No, as I went and do a video on it, and the Ministry of Works and Transport.
But somebody inside it.
And somebody inside
so
it
we don't have a director of highways.
Right.
We don't have a director of road. What are they doing, boy?
No, but you see,
but
you
wait,
can't put that on us.
No, why?
Can't put that on us.
Let me tell you why. So why has the minister say, go and do it, we just go and do it and just get done? So why we do just do it?
So wait, so you're trying to tell me that the minister's job is nothing?
It's something.
You know, if I was the prime minister, I tell you this, if I was the prime minister, they would have 41 people in the 41 constituencies responsible for roads in each constituency.
No, I like how we are going somewhere, but we have to look at the construct as it is now.
Okay, but
and we have to change you. Okay, your party. How does that? The confusion changing the construct? The construct. Let me go back to Eric William Chambers. Come back down. The construct is wrong for efficiency.
But I want to tell you this.
So you said some earlier. It's a failed state because the construct is wrong.
Correct.
For developed
country. Correct. But you know what
state.
people used to do before?
Yeah.
People used to say before, it can't fix. We like it so we jam in still. We challenge. We challenge that by being normal everyday citizens and getting things fixed. Getting it fixed. We get stuff done. So now people stop talking, and I want to finish this.
Yeah.
People stop talking it can't fix and we jam in still and we like it so, and they start looking at the members of parliament and they start sending them messages on social media and tagging them and asking why you couldn't do this, why you in the parliament, why you getting all this money at the end of the month and you couldn't do this. We pretend, and I want to ask you one more question. When was the last time you drove on Wallafield, Chagaramas, North Coast roads? And I use those 3 roads as an example for Trinidadians to understand that those roads were built here
again to
when
that
the
too.
Queen
And
was here. When the Queen
Again
was
to
here,
that
that was
too.
built in the 40s and 50s.
Phillip.
That's
Phillip.
when those roads were built. So if those roads were built in the 40s and the 50s and they're still 72 and 82 years old.
I don't think they have pipe running under them. Wasa
No,
don't have
no.
Right,
Still,
Wasa have pipe
no. Yeah, I like where you going.
I see the problem.
I like
No,
where
I like
you're
where
going
Phillip
to,
going.
I listen. Only go ahead.
But how come we building roads now that can't last 5 years?
Who building it?
Because somebody had to make money.
I will tell you now,
Somebody
you
had to
know.
make money, so
And this
5
is
years
it.
my money.
So,
As a contractor.
we know full well. I like how we pulling nice, you know.
They're gonna fix that
So we
same
know
road
full
about
well.
100 times
We
in
know
5
full well.
years.
We have formulas in Lake Asphalt that asphalt, cement, and so forth could build. We have 2 roads we build of recent vintage within our lifetime. Audrey Jeffers and by Rienzi Curtin Highway. Same formulas we use for those 3 roads you called it. So we could do it, you know. We have done it in our lifetime, you know. We the people, because it was no Hines who was Minister of Works or Rohan or Imbut who was Minister of Works who mixing the formula, you know. If I know I working inside here and this formula will give me a better road that won't damage my car, it's the owners and me, the people,
no.
to do it. Why?
You don't have the
Yeah, but-
say. You don't
Who
have the
say I
engineering.
don't have to say?
You don't have the
Yes.
say.
So why don't
Because-
do that?
because- yeah, why?
Why we the people not
They
do
could
that?
have a meeting. They could have a meeting. And you, the people, right, that sits there and works in the ministry, you decide, well, listen, minister,
This is the
this is
formula
the
for
plan.
the road.
And the minister say, we not money for that.
But it's not that.
Simple like that.
But you all missed 2 things.
You have money for that.
You know what you missed?
Whole dynamic change.
Yeah,
now.
like
The cabinet had a
No, but Stephen, you know what he missed? What he missed is this. It is not at the worker level. The workers may want to do good work. But the quality of the material, the design of the mix,
That's the
and
next
you
thing too.
know this. There are engineering specifications that
Right.
are handed to them. They're given material to work with. They're given machinery to work with. You know this
Yeah.
more than any of us on this table.
Right.
That at some point in the conversation where this road went from the planning stage to the execution stage, somebody put down on paper how this should be done. Why are we doing? And somebody went back after, because I want to tell you this part. I am in the development business.
Right.
And at certain points of certain things, people come and check if what you said on paper that was approved is what was done.
What was done, yeah?
Yeah.
Somebody approved it
Yes.
and came back and checked and saw that this nonsense, like all you ask, somebody write $81 on a melange and nobody had noticed.
Yeah.
So you're trying to tell me somebody wrote down on a piece of paper for all these quantity surveyors and engineers that working in the Ministry of Works to see, and nobody has say, but that is not how you build a road.
Right.
That is not how they teach
So
me
what-
in university
Exactly.
to build a
so.
road.
And who doing the formula?
But
It's we the people doing the formula, you know. But and you telling me I'm minister now? Wait a hey, we're building the road too good, you know. Start building bad road.
Yeah, but when bad road, listen, when the bad road take place, where's the minister who tell me when he was on a political platform that he's going to fix the road? Where is he
No,
to
because-
hold the person who didn't do
Because
what
the
he was
ministers
supposed to
go
do
along.
responsible?
you will get licked.
Yes,
You
Yes,
will
sir.
get
Where's
licked.
he?
Minister,
Where's he?
yes, sir.
I am-
Because
I
here
am
with
responsible.
sad bad, yes,
Hold on.
sir. Here with
Why
sad bad.
don't he give me
Here with
why
sad
don't I have
bad.
a warranty?
No,
on
here
that
with
road?
here
Because I
with
paid for it.
here with sad bad.
That's the point.
Yeah,
Say,
no,
wait,
well,
say,
just-
listen. You know what you get licks? You get
I
licks.
paid for that road. Why
You
don't I have a
get
warranty?
licks on the threads
Yeah,
in this show. People are going to ask you
yeah,
who actually working there.
yeah.
They're going to ask you if you know
Yeah.
that the minister and the contractor
Yeah.
making decisions based on, if I use 4,000 PSI concrete,
Right.
let me use Westmall as an example.
Okay.
There was a company that built the original Westmall when Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce was the financer, and there was an engineering company that was brought down to Trinidad, and they told them that you're going to have to use 1-inch steel.
Right.
And they total the 1-inch steel and they finance for 1-inch steel. The engineer tell the contractor, if we drop it to 3/4-inch steel, you will save a piece of money and we can share that. They like that idea. The contractor tell the builder the same thing, and they cut to 1/2-inch steel. Watch me, eh? They cut to 1/2-inch steel. The bank finance the owner for 1-inch steel, 1/2-inch steel, and still, when you go in Westmall to this day, on either end, the place feel like it always having an earthquake. And that is why.
we had
That
one
is
today.
why. And that's what happens in Trinidad and Tobago. And the government minister, Rohan Sinanan and Colin Imbert, and all of them are aware that the work that is being done in Trinidad and Tobago on our infrastructure is crap. And they know that
Using inferior
because
material. They're using inferior material.
The conversation we
They
just
get
now.
no-
No, but the
can't blame-
conversation.
no
No.
warranty, no accountability, nothing.
No accountability.
But who is it just now?
And
Who
the
tell the man
criticism
change the
is
size of the
again.
steel?
How you mean?
Tell
who
the
tell you
furious
that?
steel.
Who?
The people responsible for Mosquito Creek collapse. Any engineer lose the work? Any engineer lose the
Well,
license?
Anybody who is held responsible?
Well, this where we get into.
And
Just
the contractor
first of
also
all,
to pay
the-
back 2 billion.
Let's hear the conversation how to be. We the people know. But I know. Ministers will be saying things outside there that they know about, they're responsible for, you know. Because of egos, you know. You're going to we'll fix the road. But you can't fix the road because the construct of the governance system don't allow you to fix no road.
Okay.
Stop lying to
So,
me.
all right.
I know that.
So you just came to the point, and if what you want to say is that what we need to fix is how we do governance in Trinidad and Tobago, you are absolutely correct.
That is the problem.
You are absolutely
Because here we're going.
But he is raising some points that are very important
Yeah.
points. When Stephen said just now that you get no warranty, when you build a road that's supposed to last 20 years and last 5, you as a contractor should have to come and fix it for free.
For free.
Stop.
Exactly.
Let me say.
Yes or
no? You should pay
No,
$1
agree.
million.
For free.
Agree.
You have to say you
Once
agree.
Agree once you bill it relative to specification
No,
that was given to
I
you.
pay you.
You know, no.
I pay you
Contract-
based on.
No contractors
So what?
build road by designs from Ministry of Works. So we have the designs. Ministry will give you a design to build a work. There's a clerk of work there, you know, supervising your job and signing off as you build, you know. You do so much gravel, so much asphalt,
So when
so we
they
sign
vary,
off on it.
so when they vary, who are you saying is varying it? The contractor
So
or the
who
ministry?
come and do tests? You don't see them doing tests on you.
They're supposed to
Okay, but
do
you
the
know
court
what
test.
Well,
but
just
do
now,
they?
he just made a statement. So I want to ask you, if you say that the design specifications originate in the ministry,
Yeah.
and you're hiring a contractor that's capable of reading and implementing those design specifications, when they vary and it fails, who is liable?
They're the ministry because they're signing off and
How
saying
is
go
the
ahead.
ministry liable?
Because I'm saying yes, it's good, built to specs. We sign off and we go again. Now,
And we pay you.
and we pay you. It's the clerk of works that
But-
tells
but
you.
so then
that
we
person
approve
should make a
it.
jail.
Yes.
You have to pay
You are
payment
correct.
because if you have payment, I would the
Because-
minister who get money don't
because
know they
here
get no
we're
money.
going.
Don't get
Here
no
we're
money.
going.
The PS who get money, they
All
get
the
no money.
kickback, all the kickback on
money,
the
they get no
ministry.
money.
All the
The trips
kickback on
to
ministry.
Okay.
Bellagio in Las Vegas, where you get
All that
$1 million
gone, all that
check
gone, all that
and you
gone,
get
all
$1
that
million
gone, all that
check.
So when a man build a house for AGC, right? AGC a clerk of works and so forth, monitoring the house, man build the house, sign off, house finished. And when you put on the light here, the neighbor won't come on. But a clerk of works sign off and tell him AGC pay the man, you know,
So
the
I
house
want
good, you
to
know.
ask you a question.
So
I want to ask you a question, right? You just said to me,
yeah.
because inside of all that construction are people who have to have licenses to work.
Right.
They have to be part of organizations to work.
Be qualified.
They could lose membership, and if you're not a member, you can't
Brilliant,
work.
brilliant.
If you lose your license, you can't work. I want to tell you, when I asked you the question just now, I was being facetious. I want to tell you that if there is a failure of the contractor to deliver the contractor wrong, and if
Yeah.
the ministry accept inferior work, the ministry wrong, and the contractor supposed to be financially liable, and the workers inside the Ministry of Works should be fined,
Now we
prosecuted, and
cooking.
jailed.
Now we cooking.
Okay.
And that
You
is
know why he ain't say
failure.
nothing?
That is
Because
the
he liked that whole sentence.
that is the failure, and that is what calling the failure of
No,
the
but
state
it
right
makes
now, you
sense,
know.
eh?
It makes
You
sense.
can't,
It's called responsibility.
boss man,
but
Stephen,
what we doing-
we can't keep pretending that a piece of crap work was done for the state,
Yeah.
and the state accepted.
The
Yeah.
citizens pay for it.
The
And then
citizens-
nobody
And
responsible.
nobody
responsible.
Nobody
Nobody
liable.
responsible.
And that is what
That has been going on since 62.
and we
everything.
in
So we
everything.
celebration a whole year independence.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm saying, and this is what I keep saying is that
You're right.
the lot and then the same man who sign off on it. Oh God, boy, this road real bad, boy, damaging my shops. But you sign off and tell the man he did a good job, pay him, and you tell the ministry pay him. The minister not there.
Nah, he signed off and he not saying what you just said. He saying now, boy, time to get this man a next contract to fix you.
Because you gotta make more money. Because
You gotta make more money.
I watch
So-
a flood in Belmont.
So-
I watch a flood in Belmont.
Yeah.
And the top piece of pitch roll up like linoleum. I'll never forget
Oh,
it.
I understand. That
roll up like linoleum.
I understand upon it.
But
Wicked,
somebody
like
pay for
jail.
that. Somebody pay for that.
And that's
Yeah,
the
but-
level
yeah,
of
but nobody-
accountability.
yeah, but
Next thing he asking.
Nobody, there are no warranty. Nobody are held responsible.
and
so
that-
wait. They
Yeah.
just said.
Let me give
sometimes the
example.
ministers-
Let me give
sometimes
example.
you say sometimes the ministers and the MPs and whoever are not responsible. Then who the fuck responsible? Because here what?
Okay,
Yeah, what?
because
Mark, say
we
something.
live, you know.
We live.
No, we lie.
That is what we talking about.
That's the
Yeah,
rum.
the rum,
No,
yeah,
take a
the
drink for that.
No, that's
Take-
the rum.
take
That's
a
the
drink
rum.
for that.
That is the rum
Or
talking.
start a drinking here. What's saying it?
Galvan.
Yeah.
What's
Come on, let the passion come out. Let the passion
Somebody
come
will be
out.
responsible.
We are say, so let
Somebody,
us.
so
So
if you come
okay.
on a parliament, if you come on a platform and you
Who
say, I
is
will fix-
responsible?
Stephen
You
Mattheson
said-
is responsible.
You said, no, you
what
said,
the words that
no,
come
you
out of
said-
his mouth?
You said, I am going to be held responsible. Right? You said, I will fix this. We will do this
Correct.
in the next 5 years.
Correct.
And that is the lie that's been
So,
perpetuated
well,
by
well, okay,
government.
well, then tell
So
me
I
that. But
want
what is
I
the
want
difference?
somebody
Somebody
to
had to be
say.
held responsible.
We're 18 years down the road from the airport. Just take that into consideration. Even when somebody is we saying, listen, these people are responsible and it's prominent people, even then is nearly 2 decades
Stephan,
it has taken
Stephan
and
Reis,
a man named
a man named Michael Abraham.
so nobody's ever
A man named
nobody.
Michael Abraham called me this morning on the phone. He said, Phillip, this is Michael Abraham. I said, good day, Michael Abraham. He said, I want to introduce myself as the person who built the upside down umbrellas in the food court in the airport. I said, okay. As the man called above me. He said, I want to thank you for getting them to clean it. I have been begging for years for
Wow.
them to clean it. This is what he says to me. He said, I've been begging the government for years. As opposed to, he said, I've been writing people for years. Like how I've been writing National Flour Mills to clean the silos. And this is a concern, said that he was involved in the process. And you talk about the airport just now. We running a country and 2 stray dogs shut down our
Gosh,
Oh, God,
international
I know we
airport.
end up somewhere with them stray dogs.
Did we fire somebody?
Because-
Come now, I don't care who you throw
I
under the
don't
bus.
say this is not a
Exactly.
real country. Nobody,
I am
nobody-
agreeing with you.
This is not a real country.
Nobody's
let me tell you why I read. Let me tell you why I
So
read. eh.
where's security?
Let me tell you why I
Where's
read. Let me tell you why I read.
Nobody has seen it.
I read where the airports authority say
Yeah.
they dealt with it quickly.
No, we will.
No.
We'll,
Let me deal with quickly. Quickly is a flight
Taxi in.
reach Trinidad to
I'd
land.
go back.
Couldn't land.
I'd go back.
The man say he circled over the Gulf of Paria for 30 minutes
Yeah.
and then had to return to the
You know what? You know what?
and could not
You,
Cost.
fly
You know
back
how-
to Trinidad
how much we
until
lost?
how much
9:20.
money that
How
was?
long we lost?
He circled at 7 something, a whole 2 hours passed
Tell me if a plane
before he
land,
could have come back.
if a plane land
And bounce that out?
and 2 stray dogs under the wheels, would it affect the plane?
Hey,
Oh, if it will affect the plane,
Hey.
it might kill all the people on the
hey,
No, I don't know. I don't know.
How do you mean if it will kill?
Listen.
And I love the
It's
headline.
not like a driving
Who are the
a bus.
dogs?
It's not like a driving a
Who
bus
are
and
the
you go
dogs
by your
now?
over street,
And
you
Sim
go
Douglas.
up, so, you know.
And Sim Douglas, go and collect your money.
What's your
Do not pass go. Go and collect your money.
No,
if you bounce a straight dog on a runway?
So
What's
this-
your-
let's
so
agree on
Phillip,
this. Let's agree on this.
Yeah.
Let's agree on this. Let's agree on this, right? Just bring. Let's look at all the things now, because I want you guys to hear this.
Yeah.
This is how we approaching things, right?
Yeah.
Wildflower Park have 18 signs to chase people, a security guard, and a private citizen erect a camera pole boldly enough
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
where he could dig up the park and dig up the road and dig up the pavement and run a wire to his house. They have a sprinkler system in the park. They can't explain to me who house it connected to. Somebody is liable for those things.
Agreed.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I listened to it, but they just do it on me. Straight on, shut off the airport. And a tree fall and block on the country.
What next?
Oh,
What
God.
next?
Somebody take Mark and shit on.
Errol, bring Errol back because Errol opened the show that way. Errol say that Phillip, every time Phillip says a failing nation is upset him. But he hates that he gets examples like the stray dogs. But I want to say to you, Wildflower Park, there somewhere inside of there, it is either corruption or incompetence. Both are fireable offenses.
Yes.
Yes.
Fire people.
Agreed.
I like how we talk.
Fire people, right? Paria, the divers who died in the pipe, It's either corruption or incompetence.
Somebody should have been a young man loose for that already.
We can't get a report yet. Look how long you can get a report from Paria.
We talking cameras, fixing
So who
cameras.
was the consultant hired to do the investigation?
And that's ongoing, some foreign guy.
No, but look at this.
Ongoing?
Yeah.
And they probably paid him millions of
It
dollars.
has started. Never started.
No, but look at it. Look at it. In the Paria incident, the incompetence there led to manslaughter, if not murder.
Yeah,
somebody
would have been
in a room,
in a real country.
and I know that the board was sitting and the management was there, and I know because I called into it the first night.
Yeah.
I called into and I started to get cell phone numbers for board members, and I was calling them and disturbing them, and they were saying that they were in a meeting. I have all that footage, and I hope the Commissioner of Inquiry know that I have all of my footage.
Why we need an inquiry set up for that?
Stick a pen and you come back at
Something
that. I promise you, let me finish my point, you come back at that, right? Somebody in that room made a decision. Whatever the decision was, I don't know, I wasn't present. But the decision resulted in Paria not only taking no action to rescue the divers, they took active action to block other people from trying to rescue the divers. When Christopher Boudram came out of the pipe, he told them, Faiz Karim right there behind me.
Right
there behind me. So we know, and I said to Christopher Boudram in a video the other day, we know that at least one other person was alive based on your testimony and the fact that people were hearing him knocking in the pipe. When Paria failed to go after him and stopped his children who wanted to go, they killed that man. And whoever that person is who said let's leave him there, and all the others who say aye,
and Silly Flange,
all of them are co-conspirators in manslaughter, if not murder.
I agree with you.
That shouldn't be a commission of inquiry.
Exactly.
That should be a police investigation. People should be in state-sponsored bracelets.
Which
all
police?
now.
Which police? We have
I'm
anybody?
saying to you,
But
but we can't keep asking that
this
question.
is a case.
No, but
anything can happen. A man can kill a man and get away just so. If a man can kill a man and get away, I'm going to start.
But it happened, and the people responsible for making the decisions, when when they say they're going to investigate or they're going to issue a report or whatever the case is, when Health and Safety, when OSHA reached on the scene
5 days later,
these people that in the management position that have a level of responsibility in what occurred was still on the job.
Not responsibility alone, culpability.
And culpability, they're still on the job. What they're doing there?
You know we have
they're
to
not
stop,
supposed to access to that compound.
You know we have to stop saying because he came at it in a backwards way. But I want to tell you, what we have to stop saying is that there is nobody accountable, because ultimately it reaches the Prime Minister.
This is it.
Ultimately it reaches the Prime Minister.
But no,
you as Prime Minister.
Nobody are doing what Boris Johnson do.
But boss man, they did just what Boris Johnson do. Trump could make a jail.
Exactly.
Trump
may make a jail before the end of the year.
Trump is facing criminal investigation.
He may make
a
jail
one of the most powerful men in the world. Trinidad is not just a failed nation, it is a joke. It is a joke.
Look up in Sri Lanka, they take matter into the
because you know who should have been arrested and charged?
But the citizens
you know who should have been arrested and charged for Paria? Stuart Young.
But listen.
Stuart Young said to the nation that he got on a plane and he came here at 1 o'clock. He was in a meeting with those people and the next day and promised to move all the things, and nothing moved.
And
Stuart Young, he put himself.
You know who's to blame? 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 These citizens are trying to go. They are to blame them. They are the one who's jamming still. And all going on.
Say, now that we are creating opportunities.
Look at Sri Lanka. Look what went on in Sri Lanka.
Now that
look what happened right in London.
Look at Ecuador.
Right?
Ecuador falling
apart. We jamming still. We are the best nation in the world.
Jam naked.
We jamming still.
No, stink and dirty.
Stink and dirty. Hear me. If with all of the new and powerful options being offered to the electorate in the next election, whenever that is called.
What powerful options?
Just now. Even if they choose, I am saying to you, there are powerful options. And you know that when all of these silos, should they align with each other?
Well, then you're
making sense. All right, okay, but everybody have sense too. And at some point, sense will prevail. But I'm saying to Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm saying this to you. if in the next election they have a viable alternative and they still choose ketchup and mustard, then we will have to say they want a country where 4 men could die in a pipe. They want a country where if you like the park across the street from your house, you could just pop sign and tell people, don't come in this park, I own it now. They want a country where after Andrea Barrett and 2 years pass and more women and more women and more bodies being found, we talking about cameras, but you can't put up 1 camera outside a report. 218,500 people in this country signed a petition asking for 5 things. You now talking about 2 years and change later that you're looking pepper spray. What happened? You talk about RFID license plate. What about regularizing the PH taxi service? You talk about when a man loses his car for demerit points. He still need to use a private taxi that will come home by him. Regularize those private taxis. All of those things tied together to make a better country, you know. Plus we ask for fast tracking firearm users license. It shouldn't be so hard, and it shouldn't be going to 1 commissioner of police. Why we have corruption? Because it's going to 1 man to sign. There should be a licensing committee for firearms.
People can still get that?
I want to finish. And the last thing we'd ask for is a commission of inquiry into the criminal justice system in Trinidad and Tobago. Because how could a man who has 70 charges be outside there able to kidnap and kill an innocent child? Those things were ignored in the Senate, in the House, in the Parliament. Yes or no? They've ignored.
And this is why I'm saying because how that is allowed to happen.
You have to hear me say.
How that is allowed to happen.
Hear me say.
You have 41 persons. I ain't saying PNM.
Those are voters. Those are voters.
You have 41 persons in the Parliament who could come together and make decision to change, to make people responsible in this country.
Tonight.
No.
They're not doing it.
Because we are letting them.
So you have people
we
in
are
prison,
letting them get away.
in prison who are languishing,
human rights,
stealing a bottle.
That's a human rights atrocity.
And you could pass laws by 41 persons, parliamentarians in the parliament to change that. So they just come in together
pretending that you killed Section 34, like if Ish and Steve was ever going to jail. Like if Brian Quaitong and them was ever going and pay back that money. You was just spending hundreds of millions more on your friends and family financial plan for lawyers, because legal briefs in this country is a racket.
Oh, yeah.
When we talk about a man languishing in jail for a $5 bottle of water for 8 years, they have tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees paying for that case too, that we didn't count. This country is being allowed to run over the people. And I'm saying to you again, your voice, my voice, Errol Fabien and others are giving the people the opportunity to stand up. If they miss it, if they miss this train, I don't know what else coming. I think Trinidad will fail.
But it starts with people taking responsibility for the spot they're standing on, because too many times we point and say, well, the minister, we the people. And I say, well, you doing your part, brother? I will give you an example of that. I work in one ministry once. I like to come back to we the people, because if you see if I start doing the right thing, Phillip, I come in at you hard if you do the wrong thing, you know. But all of we doing some more crap sometimes. We just feel guilty to come and talk to you, boy. We can't do real crap, you know. Yeah. Back up pointing the finger at you, boy, because I watch. I'm looking bad. But you see, if we start to do the right thing and be responsible citizen, I could jam hard at you, boy. But one ministry. In a ministry, we taking 6 and 8 months to pay people and so forth. No, man, it just is 6 or 8 months. I go in the ministry and so forth. And I look at it, I say, but there is no fear to people. And I was short in the conversation. After I talk to him, I say, hey, you see that making sense, you know. He said, what we could do? Pull in PS, AO4, AE2, so forth, and we process map the thing. 15 days we was paying people after, you know. The same set of people who was there, you know. We the people decided to do what we were paid to do.
This is your job.
It was your job.
Yeah.
And the 15 days contractor was getting the money. We the people.
You know another example?
Talk to me.
Yesterday, me, Stephan, Ian Griffith, Sean, Sinara, and Satish went down to a regional corporation. And the CEO and the PRO made themselves available. I want to tell you who, and I want to tell you which corporation. But they decided to make themselves available to fast track issues that people have had for 8 and 10 years.
Yeah.
And they made themselves available, and they said that they facing retirement soon. So they want to get all of this resolved before. It was such a refreshing breath of air. I'm sure you felt it too. To hear people willing. You said that they make themselves available even for a meeting is unorthodox.
Yeah.
It's unheard of. Because the bureaucracy in this country is so much nonsense that to the average person, when they find you and they find me, I'll be getting WhatsApp from people. I don't even know how to respond. I don't even know what to say to you when you on the bed in a hospital holding your dead fetus because of something that the state just do. Remember this country when we slice open my child head during a cesarean? That person was ever held accountable. When Christopher Phillip rolled around and dead on that general hospital lawn, was the head of the regional health authority removed?
Nothing come out of that.
Was any doctor, was the security guard fired?
The LC never even produced a report on that.
Did the security firm lose the contract? All of these things. And you know what we should do? We should just go through social media for the last 10 years and just make a list of all the culpable people and all the liable people, because the security guard should have been fired.
Why?
Who threw Christopher Phillip out the hospital and left him to languish on the... but the security company that hired such a security guard, they should have lost that contract. There should be a penalty. Police shouldn't be able to shoot 3 men in the back of the head. And
that was which hospital, by the way?
General Hospital. Royal Hospital. Police killed 3 fellas in town and shoot them in the back of the head, and we still don't know which police, and they're not yet charged.
But
what could a perpetrator do if this was New York City? You know what's going on in town?
Yeah, because sometimes I sit down and I watch foreign television most of and foreign news. So I watching a chase, right? And in the absence of a man pulling out a gun and waving it at the police will never fire a shot at that vehicle.
Because they could go to jail.
Because they could go to jail.
Yeah.
In Trinidad, the police is saying you shoot 3 people in the back of the head,
but only
a car fleeing, and you saying that you are the right to do that.
Right, and on top of that, the commissioner says we have video footage, but we're not releasing it to the public.
Yeah. Crazy.
You ever heard when they arrest somebody in the States, you have the right to remain silent.
Anything you say can and will be used against you. Yeah.
That is called the Miranda of rights. You know that, right?
Well, yeah.
Do you know why it's called the Miranda of rights? There was a man named Miranda that the police beat a confession out of until he confessed and was convicted. And then it was overturned and they realized that all of the evidence was coerced and forced by the police. It created the Internal Affairs Bureau in the Police Department of the United States. Those fellas get promoted and paid based on prosecuting errant police officers for actions like that. So it's very serious. Senior men in the New York City Police Department Internal Affairs have been telling me for years, Phillip, we cleaned up Gotham. In the 80s, New York City was the murder capital of the world. In 2022, it is the tourism capital of the world. So we clean up Gotham. Cleaning up Trinidad, we do that in 3 months.
13 million.
Yeah. I said, but nobody will give no evidence. He said, we like that. He said, we will find our own evidence. We will show you. And the stuff like people tell me about, you can't Stuart Young. Stuart Young had sent out this thing that you can't secure this nation's borders. They sent me.
Oh, but he's them is clown.
When he was Minister of National Security, this man sent me footage.
Heinz saying the same thing. He's not responsible for crime in the country.
Sent me footage from Manhattan Island, where a boat crossed an invisible line in the sea. And you're hearing the calling out to them. You know all the stuff they say, identify yourself, all of that stuff. And they reach a point in the water where it's now the point of no return for him. And a Coast Guard battering boat reach and slam straight into him. You ain't going no further, you know. Helicopter overhead, ropes drop, ladder drop, gun, and they take control of your boat. Now they found out that they was having a radio problem and they were in distress and whatever, and there was never any criminal. But it could have also been a nuclear bomb sailing into New York City. In Tobago, a boat from Africa sailed into Tobago with nobody on board, and nobody knew.
Dead people on board.
And there was a next one with the dead people on board. But these things happen in Trinidad routinely. You could go to Venezuela in a pirogue and come back and sail up the Caribbean, and nobody's stopping you. You could jump in your multi-million-dollar Bertram in Trinidad and Tobago Yacht Club or Yachting Association and go to Colombia.
You could go and come and say, please.
And you come back, and nobody in Yacht Club or Yachting Association are even looking to see if you bring $100 million worth of cocaine or firearms or arms and ammunition. Every time I say that, the owner of a company that has rent tools in the country, he gave X with me. He said, can't say that about Yacht Club because he's a member. I'm not trying to cast aspersions. I am saying that if
That
you
it-
want
it's
a
a
country...
reality.
Well, your club will
one.
say that it's not a responsibility. But the thing is,
But
Brother
it's a
man, it
reality.
is a point of entry into the country. You are supposed to provide facilities for customs,
Somebody
immigration,
responsible.
police.
Somebody
You
responsible
are,
at the
there
end
is
of the day.
supposed to be
Every
like
port of
in,
entry, yes.
like in,
Yeah, you
like
are
in the
correct.
airport.
Every port of entry.
Because
That's
you
right.
you could have gone pick up your maid and she family,
Yeah.
no passport required, and you jump off your boat and you drive up Goodwood Park Hill. You can't have a country running where houses in Bayshore could have their own jetty and go where they want and come back with what they want, and nobody to even stop them in the sea to say, let me see.
We understand all of that, you know, but what I'm saying is, this, you see, there's the problem. We have a group of politicians here. They don't take responsibility for
Because
for,
they're corrupt.
for anything.
Because they're corrupt.
You have the Prime Minister saying, better more poor parenting. Poor parenting is the issue. And I keep saying poor
I looked
parenting.
at
Poor parenting, not bringing in the illegal guns that ended up on the street, that ended up in the hands of the same youths, that killing each other and robbing people and killing
Rowley
people.
has cast
It's not-
aspersions
that
to
is
black
not- that is not-
families
that is not the
every
fault
time he
of-
speaks.
But I read
Choose
a-
your man.
I read
That is the
article.
fault. That is the fault.
I read an article,
That
a
is the
newspaper
fault
article.
of. That is the fault of mismanagement of your national security
Exactly.
Apparatus, correct.
apparatus.
It's just like the education system.
Nothing else.
You say the reason why you have a failing education system because
67% of the
60-something%
children
of the people
fail.
fail.
You heard what the Minister of
And that
Education
is-
said?
Yeah, I heard that.
She
and-
said she concerned.
Yeah, you're concerned.
About
You
the-
concerned about that?
about the workforce moving forward.
Yeah,
about
you
know.
concerned about that? You should have been concerned long time because the education system.
What is our
the
education system created? Those 67% of the people who fail, they're
It's
supposed to
creating
be...
laborers.
You creating laborers.
That's what the education system
Would you
does all the time.
would you like fries
Look
with
something
that?
simple.
Who,
Look something,
who
look something
teaches you
simple.
to think in school?
I get a letter from a government school. A government school. I think you got one too from a parent. Right? I got a letter. And the person to me said, look at the last thing on the letter. PTA fees. PTA dues $500 for maintenance of the school. Maintenance of the school?
A $2 billion
Why the
budget.
parent paying the PTA
But education get $2 billion.
$500
$1,500.
to maintain $1,500 in the school? And
$1,500
I talk about Rio Claro West is
$1,500
$500.
$2,500
$500 is taken from the parent
Yeah.
for maintenance of the school.
Where's the $5 billion?
How the parent paying that?
Where's the $5 billion that gets spent on education every year? Where's that money?
But that is supposed to go into the maintaining
You're
the
buying
schools,
your own
uplifting
books.
the schools.
No. You're buying your own books. The schools exist. Where's the $5,000 million spent?
We don't know the salary recurrent expenditure.
Audit.
It's not like they're
audit.
going to pressure was the school.
Everything must be recurrent
Before it
expenditure.
open.
You never
That's
hear
what
them
they
say
do.
that. You never hear them say that. That the majority of the allocation, the majority of every allocation in every ministry does go towards recurrent expenditure.
Paying teachers and that kind of thing.
Audit the Education Facilities Company Limited. Audit
We
it.
still have our educational facilities.
I
They
think
shut
that
that down.
They shut
They
it down.
shut that down to bury
Because of the
that
matter
trail.
in court.
To bury that trail.
Yeah.
And if you audit all of those special purpose companies, and I tell you this, if you audit those special, but you see, we have a statute of limitations, and it's about 4 years. So if 4 years pass, you get away with your banditry, you're done.
We have
And it's
schools.
hundreds
We have
of billions
schools.
of dollars.
We have schools that was. Let me tell you something. I went and I covered. I went all over. It's not a place me go. I went quite down in Penal.
Yeah, I used to watch
I could carry you in Penal now, and it's the same thing. If you see the size of this piece of land, and they was building the schools,
Stephan.
I can't remember the 2 schools, and they leave it there. It have another school was 95% complete.
Why
they
that
leave
there?
it there.
Stephan.
It was built under a different regime.
Stephan, on
It was built
But-
under the
but what about-
partnership, and then the government changed, and PNM just leave it
But look on
there.
the corner of Chagrit Road and Polkaroo Street. opposite
Correct.
administration.
Correct.
10 years now, that school rebuilding.
They break down that school and they didn't pop a brick yet. I went to a school,
That's
in
like
Egypt.
the lower mover.
I went to a school in
Just
Shagonas in
Barong. Just
Egypt.
Barong with
In Egypt, Shagonas, right? When I went, the people begged me to come down when I go down. This is Stephan. This school was 99% complete. If you see the condition, people went and thief out all
Of course.
everything.
Looted.
You know why that school never opened? Because it was to pay $1 million for TNTech to install the
Transformer.
for the lights. It was costing $1 million. And this
We spent about
administration,
200 million to build this
this
square.
this
I don't
because you
administration
see-
say they ain't paying
No,
that.
because you see, the other side would have take credit for it, but I want to say something. We're talking about what the country is, what the education system is. The Minister of Education, have they ever spoken tertiary education with the Ministry of
We gotta get
Planning?
Fazal Carib on the show.
No, yes. But,
Fazal is real good.
but the Ministry of Planning, have they ever had a conversation with the Ministry of Education to say that the country would like to be in the aerospace industry or the food technology industry or fishing? Or
No, we don't have that.
Have
You
we?
talking is a different language.
But have they, because you see, if the Ministry of Planning and Development, that is their
You
remit.
talking about a different
And
kind of economy, a
wait,
different kind
no,
of thing.
wait,
So
but
that
I want
was
you to
really
We don't have that in
You know,
Trinidad.
you're talking about a different
no, no,
country.
no.
You
Yeah,
got
we
different
don't have that
country
kind of
right
thinking.
now. What part of the world in?
We don't have that kind of
They
thing.
won't. What part of the world in?
Let the
We had to
people-
think, our thinking is read a book, a white man or somebody, right? Regurgitate, pass the exam,
I
and
will
come
hear
out
you
and
think.
say bright.
Yeah,
I
he's a
want you to
scholar.
hear.
You have a degree, you have a
There's a
degree.
scholar.
You have
There's a scholar.
That's we
Stephan,
education
I
system.
want them to hear.
No thinking.
I want them to hear that the people who watching us now, I want them to hear that the Ministry of Planning and Development, the government, the cabinet, they're supposed to have a vision of where China will be 10, 15, 20 years from now.
Right.
Which Vision 2020?
No,
What was
no,
Vision-
go
what
ahead,
was
go ahead,
Vision
go ahead. No,
2020?
he's on the right track.
What is
And-
Vision
and hear what-
2020?
Exactly.
We understand that.
So let them understand that this is what should have instructed the Ministry of Education so that they would know how to streamline the education policy. When you say that we just manufactured laborers, it is because they don't have a plan.
Well, it
so
is-
you are right when they're teaching them to count 1 by 1 is 2 and 2 by 2 is 4, and to teach them how to read.
We have a bigger problem now.
Columbus sail around the
No, that was in our time. They're doing that again.
But we have
Once
another
in
problem.
it.
We have another problem. We have another problem. We have a problem where the state, the taxpayer funds the education, like GATE program and all these little things, right?
Yeah.
But you have students that come in through there, and then they're leaving and they're migrating. Good? Now, I personally find, if the taxpayer fund your education, is a loan. If you want to migrate,
No, you
gotta pay back that
can't. You
money.
can't migrate. I'll tell you why. I have a nephew and a niece.
Can't migrate. Who say, what's
Wait,
who stops you
you-
from
no, you
migrating?
owe-
I say it should be considered a loan and you
You owe
gotta
the
pay
money.
it
I have a
back.
nephew and
You
a
owe the
niece.
money,
we gotta
but
get
guys
back the
stop you
money.
from migrating. How you getting it back?
Well, all right.
Because if I'm educating you to build this country here, and you are saying to me, look, I can make more money outside, I go on.
Last
Boss, I wanna
conversation.
say-
I have to get back my money.
I want to say to you that if I train you as an engineer, I should have some.
Somebody said, put you.
Yeah, I should have some.
I agree with that.
There
I
were
agree
some,
with
There were
that.
some medical students who had scholarships.
About 200.
And
Yes.
and all of them finished, and you had nowhere
They
to
were
put
home.
them.
They were home. They
You had
were
nowhere
home.
to put them.
But you
So
have,
they
you have,
had-
you have
they got-
medical, you have senior medical doctors in the system working in the general hospital and they are the own private
And they are the
practice.
private thing.
And they're sending everybody
Punching-
to their
punching-
private practice.
punching
So they're
the-
making double money.
That is a-
That
double-
makes a,
bun-
That's
double-
a next
that
bubble
make
right
any
there.
Double,
sense.
they punching
Oh,
their
God.
card. They punching their card in 3 different departments at the same time. Gary was telling you that police officers that, according to their timesheet, work 24 hours a day, 30 days a month,
And coming back to the point,
getting paid. for
coming
that.
back to the
Yeah.
point that he was
Overtime.
making. Coming back to the point he was making. If you are going to educate a generation, you're supposed to have
A plan.
a market, a
Yeah.
job market,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A plan, right?
That plan creates him.
What was the plan in 2015? This current administration here, what plan they presented?
No, well, okay, listen.
Yeah.
No. I want you to answer me. What plan did they provide for the population on the platform?
If you tell me,
How did
they-
they say they was going to move the country forward?
They did
What did they
present
say
a
they were
plan.
going to
They
do?
did present a
Where
plan.
did they say their
They did
investment?
present
Right,
a
and
plan.
they still vote them in.
They did present a plan.
Wait, hold on. They didn't present a plan.
They did.
So
They
if
did
you
present
come to
plan.
build a house for me,
They did
hold on.
present
If
a
you
plan.
come to
let
build
me
a
say
house for
which
me,
plan they present.
Well,
They
this
did
is
present
why I
a
was
plan.
stopping.
Nobody remembers it.
if you
but they did present a plan.
you don't want to present a plan? You don't want to present a plan? Because part of the partnership campaign, if you remember well, was Kamala was running a campaign saying they have no plan, they have no plan, they have no plan. And the same speech she was saying that at, they really never presented a
Okay,
plan.
but you know what
they talk about? They talk about
so
Section 34, they talk about life sport, they talk about email gate.
The entire,
Email gate
okay, but that
is what
election-
this administration is about.
Step
But
on.
hold on, no, wait, hold on. Because we're talking about the people and the mindset of the people. If I am going to hire you to build a house for me, you better be damn sure that you have some sort of design to bring for
know what
me
the house
and
will look
say,
like after.
this is how the house is going to look when I'm finished. And this is what you're going to cost.
You remember? I hear you.
I just say, but hold on. I know, I'm not arguing with you. Hold on, I'm passionate. Hold on, the rum sinking in. Buck up MD, it overflow it to the next way.
That what
But
they
what I'm
say
saying
when the
is,
police lock them up for beating their wife.
what I'm saying is, how we could expect progress in our country where we don't vote in a government based on what they present for us on a plan. We vote out. We vote out.
Yes, we do that.
So we vote out one way and we vote these people into office.
We vote for all the wrong
who
reasons.
presented no plan. 5 years pass. They took us absolutely nowhere. They shut down everything. Business gone, leave. The economy sinking.
Stephan. I hope you're not singing. I hope you're not singing for any one particular party.
Nobody pays me.
What I'm saying is, you know, what's interesting? Yes, they had a plan. They had a plan.
Why did you say that?
They had a manifesto.
But why did you say that?
They had a, yes,
Why
they had
did
a
you
plan.
say that?
Allow me to finish.
No, but why did you say that part?
What?
About singing for a particular
No, well, because
that compromise anything else you're going to say.
No. What I'm saying is, the PNM did have a plan. All of them just have a plan. All of them just have a plan in writing, right? But what I'm saying is, the same thing we have been saying. You come here, you go on a platform, you tell people you will do X, Y, Z, right? And then 5 years, nobody hold you accountable for it. Everybody, all the politicians, all of them know.
But why 5 years?
I don't know. We don't
Why
know.
we don't-
That's what
why-
we've been conditioned to think. But what I'm
know why
saying,
you get
brother,
away with it? Go ahead, I'll go tell you. I'll go there, sir.
You remember a couple of months we had a
We need a
program during
hammer, we need a hammer.
COVID. During COVID, I made a statement that Trinidad and Tobago should be run like a government, and Robin Montano
Like
said
a business, like a business.
And Robin Montano said, "No, Steve, no. What I meant is that
Accountability.
any organization should have
A plan.
some kind of a vision and a mission from which everything cascades down.
Yes.
The closest I've seen to that was Manning 2020 vision, and to me, it wasn't pie in the sky, but there was not the infrastructure in terms of the
But he had a
the kind
vision.
of governance system
had a
that you
vision.
always talk
Yes,
about.
yes. But
you would say he had a vision.
apparatus to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Right, he had a vision.
But the thing is, yes, if you are running for office and you as any serious CEO or any serious organization with professionals, you would have a vision, you would have a mission, you would know where you want to go, you would have a
I
strategic
want to say
objective.
something this, Stephen.
And in doing so, you must understand all the steps,
So
all
what
the apparatus,
Stephen
all
Matheson.
the buruocracy,
Stephen
everything that you
Matheson,
have
I
to
want to
move to be
say
able
to
to
you,
do that.
I want to say to you as somebody who has put out thousands of hours of video doing exactly that. And we have a website, www.21policies.com. I want to tell you something. We talk about plans to right size and fix the public health sector that requires you to get measurable metrics over a timeline for budgets, and the persons responsible should come back to a parliament where the legislature is separated from the executive. So members of parliament have one job besides serving the people, and that is to provide oversight. And I want to tell you something. We have the ability, and we have the people, and we have people in this room. We have people in this room that I'd be happy to serve in a government with. But you have to admit this. You have to admit this publicly, that we have to change our mindset of fear, of change. We have to choose something that we've never tried before.
We have to be willing
have to get away.
reset.
You keep saying that word, but it's like when Pandey walking around talking about constitutional reform. You have to break that down to people. And when you say we need a reset, the reset the people of Trinidad and Tobago, I need to finish this. The reset that the people of Trinidad and Tobago needs is a government that is willing to come into office and fix how government is done.
Sup, and that is all I've been saying, because here we're going on from Eric William time. Let me talk now. So Chambers, Robinson, all of them. I just call them the administrators at that level have really failed the country in changing the construct. As he's talking, because how we constructed right now is designed for continuous failure. Gary just say something. No politician can tell me what to do. He's right. Because the Minister of National Security can instruct the Commissioner of Police what to do. He don't report to him. The Police Service Commission is the one who appraises the Commissioner of Police, the one who writes his recommendation, his evaluations and so forth. Yeah? So the performance of the police service, the Minister of the National Security, I don't know. The ministry come with some plan that the police service will send to them, and they send it to cabinet approve, give them $2 billion for national security, and the minister and them implement.
So why you guys walking around like
you
a peacock?
That's why your system will fix that. Because the minister, yes sir, I call it egos. Yes now, stop. The system we have is a system of egos.
Bureaucracy.
Ministers have to know in the construct. You're really powerless, brother.
Right, but
you're powerless.
When I speak to government ministers, and I realize people who have held public office, including a former prime minister, they don't even understand our system of government. They don't understand why we have a Senate. They don't understand why we have a local government.
You know who don't understand it? Most the PS and them.
Right. But
because they don't understand them in charge.
No.
So they allow a minister to tell them.
Because they get high.
You're working in a ministry and they say the minister come in, the minister say to do this, the minister say to do that.
And he can't shock nobody. He can't shock nobody.
Ask Trinidadians why we have a local government ministry and they don't know. Ask Trinidadians, you've had this conversation before. What is the purpose of what used to be the county council and now the municipal corporation, and why does it exist if we have a central government? Why would we have a ministry of works and a ministry of local government and then regional corporations? Why would we have all of those things? And when we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, start to look at what the governments plural over the past 60 years that we are about to celebrate are celebrating, we are celebrating people that had no idea what they were managing. They were managing something that made any sense at all.
No sense. The system makes no sense.
When they talk about in the parliament in Britain about Eric Williams bright, he was bright, but he was phenomenally stupid too. He didn't understand government. And Trinidad has never had accountability. When you say that the Minister of National Security cannot order the police, you're correct. But the Police Service Commission, we keep writing laws to suit ourselves to set up a police service commission that control our police commission.
Stop. So, the minister in charge of the ministry, right? I minister works. But you can't discipline the PS who is responsible for implementation, you know.
You can move him. You can recommend that he move.
But you go get next one. But is the Public Service Commission to discipline the PS? You minister can't do him nothing, you know. What you can do him? So, he gives some bullshit story. We're going to do what use minister, we're going to do. Here what you have to do. You have to go to the Prime Minister, tell the head of the public service, this PS, use minister, you know.
You see what happened with Faris? And
you understand what I'm saying?
What was the person, the draftsman, the senior person drafting the law?
Yeah.
The Attorney General had to write the man a letter and it went public and they fall out. The system is not set up to work.
It's not set up for success. And just why you think? Just wait. This is why. It's hard to hold a minister and say he corrupt. Because here are going on. So I'll give a simple example. So we do the highway in Crep. UNC had it for 300 million. PNM come in and say, hey, look, we save money. UNC corrupt. We doing it for 2 something. I say so. Maybe the minister works to do the estimate, boy. Is the minister works to do the estimate?
Boss man.
It's the same public service.
You know what embarrasses the government and the opposition? That there are people now like us who will ask questions. When the flour thing went up 19% and then 33%, a counter 58% increase, and they throw that on Paula Gopi-School, and she's trying to talk as Minister of Trade to justify it. And I'm listening to all the things that she said that they try. I asked one question. If it is temporary because of what's going on in Russia, Ukraine, why you didn't subsidize the cost of flour?
Because
It
temporary.
didn't cross none of their minds before. There is no system of government in this country that had the ability to think of the power of flour to impact every life in Trinidad and Tobago. The two things that happened in the last year that has damaged Trinidad and Tobago to the point where people are losing their lives, losing their businesses, losing their homes, is the removal of the gas subsidy and the 58% increase in fuel.
But Phillip,
Those things have created a hyperinflation.
Phillip,
But when you go in the grocery and you see Melangen for $71 and Namdevco trying to blame the rain, I want Namdevco to also account for how the farmers
Phillip,
paying their bills.
I am a little unorthodox. I would do the opposite of what you say. I would allow flour to raise to about 600%. That not good for you?
No, it's not. You're right. But you know why?
That creating more, you spending more money in
That's
health and all kind of
that's a
things.
different conversation because your economy is built on something. And if you're going to fix that thing, you can't come in a building and say, these two columns not working how I want them to work, I want to change them. I'm going to just take them out. The building will fall. You have to put something in its place.
Right.
So I'm not disagreeing with you, but I want to tell you something. You know why they couldn't subsidize flour? You know they come back and tell me why they couldn't subsidize flour? Because a percentage of flour mills is owned by private citizens. You could nationalize that, you could buy them out, you could pay them off, you could do an accounting after the fact where you purchase the wheat before you process it, let them benefit from it. But they also couldn't do it because there was another private flour manufacturer in Trinidad and Tobago. And because he is in this space, if you subsidize flour mills, you'll close him down because you're not subsidizing him. But I am saying to you, there are some businesses that cannot be in the private sector and there are some businesses that should not be in the government. But if you are going to have an economy built on flour, then you are going to have to control the price of flour. Yes or no?
Yeah, I just
Yes or no?
Just,
No, but yes or no?
You're correct.
If the
good
price of
concept,
flour
interesting concept.
impacts the ability of people to go to work and go to school every day,
yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
because that's what it is. Now, when you come to say that white flour and bleach flour is nutrition
another
void and all of that,
conversation.
that's another
That's
conversation.
conversation.
That's a whole other conversation because there is healthy flour that you could eat, and the government could have been involved in that. So you don't come after the fact that you raise the price of flour 58% and then people try cassava flour and try this and try that. You should have been introducing that alongside and parallel and telling them that this may happen and prepare for that and empowering the farmers and creating the facilities to process those flours and all that sort of thing. We did nothing. We just went to the public and say, you talk about transportation earlier and how the demerit system work and all of that. Have you ever spoken to truckers? Truckers in this country are at their wits' end. They spend so much of their income paying fines and useless nuisance charges for overweights and all sort of nonsense. Rohan Sinanan blamed the trucks in the country for the road. The heaviest material that move in Trinidad and Tobago is moved through Western Main Road, Chagaramas, that the Yankees build. The heaviest things that can't come out of Chagaramas, just move on trucks on those roads and it never damaged the road. It is not the trucks, it is the poor quality of work that the contractors doing, that the
100%.
government accepted,
100%.
and all of that drama.
Yeah.
So everything that all of you all are saying, the education system and the failure of the public health system and the failure of anything to hold anybody to account is a failure of government. When I say nothing works, nothing works.
You're correct.
And we have to have a conversation, and it can't be when you're asked about 2015, what his plan was and her plan was. Both of them had no plan.
It's bigger than
They
that.
just wanted to win the election.
Yeah, but
that was
yes,
their plan.
yeah,
You see,
yeah.
okay, this
That
is
was
my-
their plan.
Hold on.
Win
This
the
is my-
election.
Hold on. This is my point. This is my point. If you go to a restaurant, you must open the menu to know what they're selling, right? If you go there for the first time. Right. You must see the menu to know what they're selling.
Yeah.
You must know, well, okay, this coming with something I'm allergic to or whatever the case
I
might
love
be.
your analogies.
You must know what you're going to purchase.
Yeah.
So
Barman.
if you say, and we know, parties is present manifestos. What percentage of the electorate does actually read it?
That's the next question.
So I will bet my bottom dollar 98% of the population that go into the polls do not even read the manifesto.
Possibility.
They don't even have one. They don't, even if they have one, they don't open it, they don't dissect
You know
it.
why?
Therefore,
You
they
know why?
don't know what they're buying.
You know why? You know why? Because we do not have proper campaign finance laws so that corrupt political investors could drown the campaign in so much stupid money that they could go out and hand people $500,000 like an iPad, like a phone. Take this phone, and when you vote for me, take a picture with this phone and send it to me, and the phone is yours. Listen, they spend. It is not a problem for some of these political investors to contribute to the $300-400 million that they estimate the elections cost, because they get it back in billions of dollars in contracts when they get back into office.
Exactly.
We need campaign finance where you have $50,000 for your campaign, or $100,000. That's it.
That's it.
In
You
the
have to do
United
what you have to
States
do
of
with that.
America, when people hear, I am George Herbert Walker Bush and I approve this message, the reason you hear that is that if
Hold
it
themselves
doesn't,
accountable.
if it doesn't have that,
Yeah.
and the media run it, it is not the campaign that's responsible.
Yeah.
There's the media.
It's the media,
the
and the
media.
media could lose their license.
Yeah.
I remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger was running for governor of California.
California.
6 weeks before, they sent out a memo to every single cable TV company to tell them, you cannot run any Arnold Schwarzenegger movies for the next 6 weeks, or you will have to give all of his opponents equal time.
Right.
Yes.
And
That's law, equal time law.
Yeah.
So I just saying to you, let me tell you, for a proper election, you got to start here.
right. And
But you have to start here, so let them know. When you tell them fix the election,
Right.
when they say the EBC corrupt, you can't just throw things around like that.
yeah,
You have to be able to say, this is what is wrong, and this is what could be right.
Yes.
And I want to say to you that if you tell somebody that $100,000 is what you have to spend, and I could prove that you spend $100,001, all the penalty should be is you disqualified.
Yeah.
So even if you won the election, even if you won the election, you are disqualified. That is what you call a motivation to not
Bring the law.
overspend.
No.
Yes
hold
or
on,
no?
hold on.
Yes
I
or
agree with that, but the reason why that I ask you what was the plan, we were talking about accountability, right? Okay. And I want the viewers to understand where I'm coming from, because this is the whole problem here. If a banana in an ad is going to sway your vote in some way, without you knowing how the people you're going to elect is going to move the country forward to raise your standard of living, or give you or create a better standard of living for you, then
Well,
hold on to that banana all you want, because I
Hold
only
it
going to be
down.
able to buy. Right? If you have several people offering themselves to run a country in an election, you at least owe it to yourself, not to the people that running, You owe it to yourself to find out what they could give, what you're going to get in return if you stain your finger for them. If you do not know what they're offering, well, you start off bad one time.
But
You're
more so,
correct.
but
Right?
more
But,
so
but,
if-
but hold on. If you elect them, the reason why you want to know what they're offering is that when you elect them, they have to perform. They have to deliver.
But they're not
In the-
voting after
in the-
that.
Right. there's
Somebody
no-
voted
hold on,
for
hold on.
$5,000.
And in the absence of the delivery, they should be held accountable for their failure to deliver.
That is-
and that should be the basis on which
I
you
agree
cast
with you.
your vote.
That is correct. But you
That is the only way we're going to move forward.
yes, but you are talking about ketchup come and give you 5,000 and mustard come and give you 5,000. You now have $10,000.
Yes, and I go vote for the carrot.
Pepper.
What the pepper, whatever.
To sell your
I go
vote.
take the money and I go
But-
vote the
but-
right
but
way.
listen,
However, still, because the cash them, I vote to no dollars and cents.
the campaign should be disqualified for bribing votes.
I agree with that.
You
They
know,
should-
all
that
they're
is
talking
illegal.
about if I should have.
No, I'm just saying,
no.
you have
Why
to,
don't
but
you
the
say?
problem, and you're correct to say if I should have, because none of those things could fix until you put a government in office that is disconnected from the contract mafia that's spending that money. And
Right.
it is the contract mafia.
So all of them had to come. All of them had to come together. All 41 of them had to come
Let me tell
together.
you backward we are.
To fix
When you
that.
talk about the police
Yep.
service,
Or
when you talk about the
we
police
vote
service,
all of them out.
you talk about the police
Well,
service, right? Here one of the things I could never understand. We know it's a rogue police in the police service. You appoint a police commissioner. He's the boss, he's in charge. But he doesn't have the power to fire a police officer. So if I catch you in bubble I could only suspend you or transfer you.
Or with pay.
With pay. With pay. With pay. He don't even have the power to fire.
Stop.
How you solving the problem?
Agreed, and that and this I like
No,
what
the
I
system
we're
have
going
the
back
power
to
fire.
just as we're going back to what you
System have the power to
say
fire.
from the construct from going Eric William I close the cab then I come Chambers come up the road. We never change it,
No, but
and we had to
Ste-
fix
Stephan,
that. And
Stephan,
Well, we wouldn't
Stephan,
change it because it benefits.
Wait. Let's
us.
go to the Constitution,
Yeah.
right? So you understand
Yeah.
this, right? From chapter 4 of the Constitution, go forward. Everything from there, the police service, a law speaks the police service into action. There's a police service act.
It's an act, yeah.
That's a law.
yeah,
So the reason they say the parliament is the highest court in the land, those 41 people have the authority to go in the parliament tonight and
fix it.
repeal the police service act. and
Yes.
go and
They
do
have the
that.
power
Yes.
to do
Fix it.
anything.
Tonight.
All
no,
40
no,
members.
no.
Tonight.
They have the power to say how your house is constructed. They
have
have
the
the power to
power
say how much
to
rent you
give-
We
make.
went to a regional corporation that is in a building where the staircase was built outside of the specifications that is allowed for the staircase in a public building.
No, what,
But you had to climb that stairs to get to the regional corporation to complain about the stairs,
About the stairs.
that in the building.
Just so.
Yeah.
That is
Just
the
so.
madness of
So,
Trinidad and Tobago.
so who is the CEO of this corporation?
Yes, son.
Who is the engineer in charge of the corporation?
forget what the CEO. The
Who-
CEO had to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
But what we say,
me
no,
see, I
no,
don't do that.
You are not doing that.
don't dwell on
You are
it.
public
Don't
servant.
dwell on it.
You
Don't dwell on it.
are-
Understand the point.
Yeah,
Understand the point.
understand the
Understand the
madness.
point. Understand the
It's
point.
mad.
Boss man, you asked a question that the parliament, you said the parliament write 3 different police service commission laws in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
They write a law. Everybody admit they write a special law for Gary. They change the law. To
Yeah,
block,
yeah, yeah. To
To block
block
Gary.
higher, yeah.
To
Now
block
they
Gary.
change it to block
So
it.
the parliament.
And you telling me the government or the prime minister is not the one who selects the
It's
commissioner of
it's
police.
sleight of hand.
it's sleight of hand, it's sleight of hand.
Yeah, it's like
It's
Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Thrones,
It's like
Game of Thrones,
Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Thrones, Game of
But-
Thrones.
but
You in
Trinidad,
charge.
but Trinidadians,
Because
and- and
we have group thing, so
Yeah.
it will work like that.
when Morpheus told Neo that the people is not your enemy, but because they will fight to defend the system that you are against, that's what makes them your enemy.
Yeah.
That's the conundrum of Trinidad and Tobago. When he asked just now, when he told Trinidadians that 1.4 million of you, the 1.1 million that eligible to vote, if you don't vote sensibly, these are the consequences.
These
of it.
consequences of it. That's what we face
Those
right
4
now.
men who died in the pipe may have voted
That's a
themselves
consequence.
into that pipe. Their family and loved ones may have voted for a government or a system that would allow something like that to happen, and a prime minister to be able to create a commission of inquiry that sidesteps the real law enforcement of a country and the function of a justice system. The commission of inquiry is not what we need. We needed a proper functioning rule of law. We don't have
So
that.
yeah, but we talking utopia here, right? Because
Utopia, we're talking
yeah,
normal.
Yeah, no, the thing is, you know that not going to really happen. It don't really work like that. Everybody don't think the same way. Everybody has their own interests. You might have your interest why I want to vote for the UNC or the PNM. You know, you might have your interest why I want to vote for the PEP or whatever. The thing is,
And
what we are
nobody
saying,
thinking country.
nobody are thinking
Country.
And we need to.
right?
We need to think
Everybody
country.
must think. You see, all what we're talking about here
It's
and more,
self-interest.
we must be thinking about how that affects
So,
us.
so I used to be an
And,
activist. I used to be an activist. And for decades, and I really worked hard as an activist. I got stuff done for a lot of people. But I realized that there is only so much you could get done until you have
You have to be in government.
parliament.
You have to be in
fix it in
government.
parliament.
I tell you that all the time.
Okay, so okay, but you see, look at the circle.
I tell you that all
This
the
is
time.
circle.
But he said the right thing. We have to start, you said that people have to start thinking how it's going to benefit them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something, that's the biggest problem you have. Because everybody is studying, oh well, if I do that, how will it going to affect my party?
Yeah.
Your party don't care about
That's
you.
right.
Yeah, they
Start
talk
with
about
doing
the
the
lesser
demand,
They don't
the
care about
the lesser
you.
too
Yeah, but you
evil
gotta
and all that
understand.
kind of
Yeah, but you gotta
nonsense.
understand. You gotta understand Trinidad and Tobago, you talk business. Trinidad and Tobago is $100 billion a year business. Every citizen is a shareholder in that business.
Exactly.
And every 5 years, you select a board of directors.
Exactly.
Yes, good.
Full
Like,
stop.
Good on, good,
Yeah.
like, good,
And your board of directors
Good.
accountable to you, the shareholder.
Yeah, when the CEO do something wrong, you must be able to
Simple
fire him.
maths.
The board of directors come together and fire the CEO.
So,
That's
so
right.
in Sri Lanka, I mean, they went and bathed in the pool and bathed in the shower.
Oh God, they're a ball.
They're a ball, right?
They're a
But
ball.
Trinidadians need to understand
Yeah.
that when a certain company wanted to control the Queen's Park Oval for the sale of nuts, because nuts.
Oh yes, I remember
somehow
that.
Was a,
Poor Jumbo got kicked out.
they kick out Jumbo. Now to us, Jumbo was significant, and we thought that this was an attack on the culture, and we fought for Jumbo without Jumbo speaking a word to us. We put so much pressure on that company that they back off. We put so much pressure on that company that they reinstate Jumbo.
Yeah.
So
we
we can
put
do it
so
if
much
you want.
pressure on that company. They sponsor Jumbo. We put so much pressure
So we
on
can
that
do it if you
company.
want.
They send Jumbo on social media to tell us, all right, back off.
Back
They
off.
fix-
Yeah, calm down. We get
Remember?
you.
Yeah.
Massy stores, when I think it was Hilo Massy, then I can't remember when they decided they wanted to be social media police and pull Ramsar and Peanut Punch off the shelf. Remember that? When we gave them 24 hours, your fast, then Peanut Punch went back on the shelf, and they realized and they say, you know what? We shouldn't be in the Peanut Punch, we should not be in the social media police business. If everybody had responded when we had stood up against Massy and the plastics, if everybody had responded and said, you know what? For as long as you're charging for plastic bags, we shopping elsewhere. How quickly would that have changed? How
You know what
But
I'm
that
saying?
happened
You
to
see,
KFC.
in that
Look,
context,
after the
You know what is confused me? You know what is confused me? You know what's confused me?
people wasn't going KFC again.
You know what's confused me?
Because the price of
And
KFC
you know
went
what's-
up.
you know what has
okay.
confused me? We living in a country with all these options among people that somehow don't understand they have options.
Exactly.
we need to make
And what are your options? What are your options? It's a fast food.
If KFC was the price of
What
buy
are your options? It's a
Castle.
fast. You don't have to buy it.
What we need to do is make what he is saying the sexy thing.
Yeah.
And I tell women this already. If women decided that they like man with donkey cart, BMW will bring out a donkey cart tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will have a
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz donkey. Women have the power in any economy. They control what men do. No man in this world, well, I'm not talking about those who don't like women. That's a whole other conversation.
Now, by this control, why you do it?
No man, I tell you this, no man in this world running around that savannah or going in any gym because they want to.
Give me up.
And I tell fellas, you know when your wife going and leave you? When she join the gym. She planning.
Because she understands she have options.
Option.
She have options.
No, but
Why is that
seriously.
single man?
Watch me now, Mr. Matheson.
You gain she $3,000-$4,000 when the month come. She going in the gym with a man go get she 10. You ass in trouble.
$10.
She have options.
$10 or 10,000.
10,000.
Fella, an old fella, a rich old fella went in the gym and he asked the trainer, he said, which of these machines will impress this woman, this girl more? This is the ATM.
Hey, Mama, I want to drink a first pack.
If you think about, listen, men just have to live with real double standards, you know.
That's a whole other conversation. Women control men two ways, with their physicality and their emotionalism. Because if a woman can't flirt to the police, if she's pulled over a ticket and she realizes she's not taken, she will cry. And one of those two things will work. One of those two things will work. A man stupid for that. We, outside there, all we taking is licks. When you're born,
Yeah, we just get real
and
excited.
you look down, and, oh God, I come back as a man.
Man,
boy.
boy, yeah. For sure, boy.
If I knew what I know now, and I come back as a woman, boy, I run the world.
You ever realize
I will come back.
You come back as a bad girl.
You go say I'm bad. That's our man.
But you don't mind. You don't mind.
Society is study rules to confuse men. They
Yeah,
just tell you, you have to be the owner. But at the same time, I spend time home. You understand what I said?
But you go earn
You
if
have to
you're
go out
home.
and earn, you know. But if you're home,
You
can't
can't
earn.
earn. You gotta go out.
you understand?
And if you go out, your wife looking to
You have to be a good
somewhere.
father and a role model.
No, but men don't have.
Don't love up your son too much because you want to be a man. You understand? Your wife rubs off.
No, but then
I really don't know.
no, men really have it hard.
Yeah.
When you think about it, and
Don't hit a woman, but she could beat the
With
shit
everything.
out.
Yeah, she could beat the shit out there.
watch me.
And then go by the
Watch
station and
me.
say,
You watch Johnny Depp and Amber Heard that drama. You watch that drama?
yeah.
This is the
You see,
first argument
you see-
a man win.
well,
That's the first
First time a man win.
And one
No,
win.
twice. Two women that destroyed the women's narrative was Jada Pinkett Smith and Amber Heard.
Oh, gosh,
The two of them. But,
Yeah, no.
Nah, but Amber Heard was
but-
just plain stupid.
yeah, but no, but
I
watch
mean-
me. You can't tell me that she's so mad and Johnny Depp with her for so long and he ain't mad too.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, God, don't tell them
yeah.
You
crazy.
had to be mad.
Why want to ice around watching nothing?
You hear the stories.
Yeah.
You hear the stories.
That's
And
what I'm
Trinidadian men watch the woman and say, and you think I bad.
But Johnny, what were you thinking? Why were you there?
And Trini woman was just
She
taking
beats
notes.
Johnny ass all the
Trinidadian
time.
woman
Yeah.
just taking notes.
Oh,
just
she
taking
do that
notes.
on the bed, boy.
Yeah.
And you still with
You
that,
know,
boy?
like the next time, women do real good at live with a straight face, boy. One got live with a straight face, boy.
But
Wow.
We ain't that good.
they,
We-
as the
we-
Chinese
we
say,
try,
women hold up half the world and we respect you very
We
much.
love the women, though.
You
All
can-
right.
You can use this camera.
No, I
That's my
know
camera.
it have women
No,
here.
like
now.
I
So-
said,
I don't
somebody-
let them
I'm
think
just
that,
saying
you know,
that if you
I'm
want to
attacking
be
their-
in our
their gender.
if you want to be in our live audience, you can reach out to Satish Ramsaran on 7968172. Send him a WhatsApp and he will control the
But better yet, we keep telling all you if you have a bar.
Yeah, but we still have to invite people. We still have to tell
yeah,
people
yeah,
where we're
yeah,
going.
yeah.
So we will tell
Well,
the couple
yeah.
hundred of you all who come in as the live audience for next week's show where we will be, so you all could come to that bar.
Next week we have actual rum. So you know.
If you think
Stephen don't slip already.
if you think he cost a day,
On the 0.1% alcohol.
if you think he cost a day, no, but
We're taking with 40% next week. I
so
know.
today, now as in anything that is new, and this is a test run of our ability to have people change out, come and go.
Yeah.
Errol was here for a while. We're testing a lot of systems because at the end of the day, when we actually go out in a rum shop environment, it ain't gonna be as controllable.
I think
you know, people women
I think
coming up
that
to
will be-
kiss Stephan.
I think rum shop talk will be like rum shop talk on steroids when we get out there. It will be like a steroid version.
Imagine you're there,
Yeah.
and one of your ex-women
It'll be out of
see you,
control.
and she come to hit you a
It
slap
will be
on.
out of
Live.
It will be out of control.
So you tell us
Trust me.
which counties you don't have any
You can't
broken
come.
hearts that we will avoid. Eh?
Yeah.
For real, eh?
Yeah.
So I guess
So we had a, well, I said we had to wrap up here. We are about out of time. What time it is now? Oh, 20 to 8. We here a long while, boy. So we had 2 guests.
3.
One planned and one unexpected. No, well, how we gonna be 3?
That's true.
It's 2.
For
Guy-
real.
guy-
You always here.
Yeah, you always there. You like a seat. You
Yeah.
like a seat, you
Yeah,
always
you always
No,
here.
but I don't
Why
think
not?
at this point.
Yeah, safe seat.
Yeah, safe seat. At this,
Lavantel West.
Never safe seat. Never safe seat. There's the seat that seemed to be. There's the marginal here.
It's the marginal.
There's the marginal.
It's changing.
but this is the 5th episode. What we envisioned and what we started, I think that it would be impossible to continue without Stephen Matheson.
No, Stephen's a
He's
mainstay.
a fixture.
He's a mainstay.
So
like
this is
Fitzgerald Hines.
this is the show. I guess it will work
Like,
because
like
there's-
Fitzgerald Hines.
Just
there.
That is such.
Just there. Just
Correct.
there.
How
Just
can you?
That- yeah,
How
that-
dare you?
that
How
is
dare?
such-
How
that-
dare
that-
you insult the man?
Yeah, that's such a mischaracterization.
I know, but I mean, Fitz, think about it. Fitz has been there for so
what's
long.
and he used a big
You know?
word. like the Gerald.
Yeah, that is such a mischaracterization.
I mischaracterization
How many
right.
syllables in that? You sure? You sure you want to use that word? Anyway,
Oh God!
as every time we close the show, we say that we have a good team of technical people that make this show happen. Satish Ramsaran,
Yeah.
David Welch, and crew, and even Errol Fabien, who has contributed to making this happen.
Big up Errol, man.
If you would like your brand on this show, we are going to be introducing from next week influencer advertising.
Yeah, man.
So somebody done call and ask if we really want to try the fried curry wings. That we talk about fried curry
I
wings.
see a post on social media this week. Somebody like the takeoff behind, the went off boy, like the trip off boy. The post was, for all you who put in ketchup in curry, it have a special place in hell for you. Just so the man put it on social media, the man put this post for people who just put ketchup in curry, it have a special place in hell for all you.
I just
Ketchup
try.
and curry.
I try things, but that never even crossed
Some
my
Yeah,
people
that-
put
that-
ketchup
that
in
crossed my
anything.
mind.
I know people is eat.
No, but
You want it to taste sweet.
I had get vexed once because I buy roti and it was stew chicken inside. And I don't like no stew chicken roti.
That was a surprise. Where by the roti?
St. James.
St. James and they sell your roti with that way it's getting salted.
No. I mean,
In
that
South
place
you get
is-
curry stew.
You can put stew chicken.
Curry
in
stew,
it.
I understand.
Yeah,
but talking
my
about
roti is
real stew
curry.
chicken.
Chew chicken in a
Oh,
roti.
it's curry.
It's
And
curry,
you
I
would
want.
go by St. James police station and tell the police
Well, I call
these
them, but they
people
say it
down
was
there
a-
at our table selling what they're saying is roti, they're selling this is stew again. But then I look them up.
That is
They should be on
cultural
the-
misappropriation. They have a bakery down in Glencoe selling pepper roti pie.
Yeah.
Pepper roti
is
pie.
it?
Yeah, but that is cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
Like taking the people who stand up on the side of the road in their little box selling
Yeah.
their pepper roti, leave
And-
them
yeah.
something to make a money now, man.
And I want to say,
Everybody gotta live. Everybody gotta live.
I want to say too, well, this is the first live show we did.
Rum shop though.
Usually we used to pre-record it and then, so like some things that come out of Stephen mouth we just edit.
Normally.
Normally.
But what we want to do, right? What we want to do from next week, I don't know if Welch have the facility to do it, but we want to get a little interactive. So like, if you have any comments and you're into the discussion, you're into the topic, and you have a comment or a
Well, we will do a
suggestion,
screen.
maybe we're
Yeah,
talking
and they'll
about
watch them,
some of the
yeah.
problems, like that issues that we'll be talking about, and you might have a suggestion. You put it in the comments. We'll see how best we can filter out the
Absolutely.
comments
We might even
and make
get
it part of the show.
We might even get to the point where we can take calls. So all of that is an option.
All of that is an option, yeah.
But right now, the most important thing to discuss is what we put on the table. If you want your brand on this table, if you want to supply us with ribs, meat and ribs, tira pork, we talk about tira
Yeah,
pork.
if you have a little kitchen, if you just do breakfast, listen,
Single malt scotch,
vodka.
I hear my name calling.
What about the chef Stephan was bringing?
Stephan was bringing a chef.
No, he on my show tomorrow.
man.
So I'm gonna line it up for Thursday. So we got the alcohol and the food.
So we're saying good night.
You have a
When we
place
talk
in the
close,
cook?
We will make that happen.
Alright.
Get them out.
Yeah, good
Stay
night.
here, man.
That's
That's it.
tonight was a really nice show. The first time we live on this
Yeah.
Rum Shop Talk, and I'm sure a lot of
I can't wait to
Viewers.
read. I can't wait to read the comments.
I would like to hear what the comments were.
The comments are
And
interesting.
I'm glad
we
you
had
say
we
it.
had two guests.
You say it how you say it.
We had Stephan Mitchell,
Make sure to share it and share it and share
and we
it.
had also
Errol.
Errol Fabien.
No, but we talk some interesting stuff. We talk the usual level of nonsense. But at the end of the day, we like to make this the lighter side of the heavy stuff. While we was live, Ramona Ramdial, who was here last week, she messaged me, she's still alive today. I said, yeah, try something. But this was always the plan. So at some point,
You have to test it at some point.
Rum Shop Talk will be coming to a bar or restaurant
Close to you.
close to you. If you own a bar or a restaurant that has the facilities to accommodate us and you are interested in having Rum Shop Talk come and film at your location, reach out to Satish at 796-8172 or Felicia at 769-4590. I have nothing else to add other than to say thank you to all of the viewers and thank you to all of the guests and thank you for the always tiring and stimulating conversation. Bring it up.
Good night, ladies
Oh.
and gentlemen.
Yeah. Good night. Bless. And let me hope some turtles will shut down the airport next. That is all I can say. Let me just hope next year the papers turtles.
I hear you and CK them too though.
Oh, good. Somebody tell me they kill the dogs.
Don't be kidding.
If they kill the dogs, we ain't taking that. We off, right? No? Alright, people. We gone.
I go drink today. We in the rum shop. Yeah. Yeah. 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 So bring a rum, bring it come in the rum shop talk. Yeah. Yeah. So bring a rum, bring it come in the rum shop talk. Yeah. Yeah.